Day 2 of the Restoration Crash Course, Restoration Boot Camp. This is July 29th, 2022, and we're going to get started here pretty soon. So here we go. Recording in progress. All right, welcome to the second day of the Xactimate Crash Course, or the Xactimate Boot Camp, or whatever I'm calling it this week. I am Andy McCabe, and we've got 5 very eager estimators ready to rock and roll today on day number 2. I'm looking forward to it. Yesterday we covered scoping. We covered a little bit of how Matterport can integrate into your Xactimate estimates, and we covered a few other things. Custom pricing. We looked at the price list module in Xactware, and we're going to rehash some of that today based on feedback I got this morning. But right now, let's go back. Let's get started and start creating this estimate. We saw the job yesterday. We chose a fire job to work on. Fire was started by a scooter that was plugged in, and we didn't measure it, but we did scope for the entryway and a bathroom. So now we're going to take that scope and we're going to translate that into Xactimate. So I'm going to open up Xactimate and we're going to get rocking and rolling. Actually, I can just share my whole screen. How did that work for you guys when I shared my whole screen yesterday? Were you still able to see it? Oh, looks like one of my estimators kicked me out. Here. Oh, well, that doesn't work. So I emailed over some opening statements and some macros this morning. Hopefully you got a chance to get those installed. If not, you can do them real quick while we're doing this, if you're operating the Zoom window and Xactimate at the same time. So we're going to start. Was this the one we started with yesterday? We're going to start a brand new one. I'm going to delete this. Whatever we did yesterday is dead to me. You're dead to me. And we're going to start a new project. I prefer using the carrier profile. You can use a contractor profile if you want. Carrier profile just has some additional stuff that I like to use, mainly the coverages. I can put in different coverage amounts. I can assign line items to dwelling versus contents versus other structures or whatever else I need to do for my purposes. Let's name this class fire. I like when I do my, you can probably see in my screen over here a couple of the examples of my nomenclature here. This top one here, I have a underscore WTR1. That means that's a mitigation or a water damage, depending. And the reason I do it that way is because most every single file we work on is going to have some revisions, and I want to keep those revisions separate. So I do the first one, and then when the revisions come back or a supplement needs to be created or things like that, I make a copy of it and I call it WTR2. You can see down here, there's STR3. That means there were 2 other versions of this STR. STR to me means structural repair. Oh, goodness. That's going to be a pain in the butt. All right. Hold on. Let me get on my Slack. I'm pretty sure my estimators kicked me out. they have another login they can use. I pay for 2 licenses, but sometimes they have it's a husband-wife team. They like to get on at the same time. All right, it kicked me out. I'm gonna get back in. Craptastic. Keep hitting the caps lock button. I can type. I'm sure I can type. All right, Shannon, you raised a hand. Let me come back over here to this screen here. Shannon, you got a question? Oh, I guess I could allow to talk, allow to talk, allow to talk. All right. There. What's the question, Shannon?
Oh, you have the chat disabled.
Oh, crap. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Where did I go to on this? Okay, stop my share then. Stop my share. Chat. There. There. All right, that should work. Okay, so nomenclature. I like to give myself and my estimators and whoever else may be using this data some clue as to which version of this estimate they're working on, or which version has already been done. So I start out with, I have underscore STR, underscore WTR, underscore MIT. What else do we have here? I use ASB as asbestos sometimes. Mold obviously is self-explanatory. There's a MIT. Here's an example of nomenclature going out of control. STR1 revision 4. Well, that could have just been STR4. You see how they name these things. Appraisal, I use APP. So this particular appraisal went through 5 different versions before it was done. So that's how I like to name things. There's MLD1 right there. All right. If you're not talking or don't have a question, please mute yourself. And okay, we're going to do a new project. Do this one more time. Class fire. And we're going to do an emergency service on this one. So some emergency, it's not technically a mitigation because it wasn't a water damage per se. We're pretending the fire department sprayed water all over this place. That's why we're demoing it. So I'm going to go EMS1. And I'm going to use the carrier profile. It's going to look a little bit different if you're using a contractor profile. But here we go. Okay, what price list? This was, if I remember correctly, in Washington State. We'll use that one. It's a price list I came up for Vancouver, Washington in winter 2021. It'll be close enough. And I don't know what the tax is up there. I'm going to guess. There we go. Okay, we're going to name this class fire. If you got an email, put it in there. We're going to do 123 Main Street. And this was, where was this?
All we can see is your like the home page of Xactimate now.
Thank you. I didn't share the right thing. There. How's that? Okay. There. We might as well just do Vancouver. I don't know what the zip code is in Vancouver. Okay. Put in all the information. I like to put as much information as I can in there. Yeah, a lot of this is going to come from this form over here, which you should have some sort of project intake form, cover sheet that you have for your particular businesses should collect all this type of information. So just if it's not part of your SOPs, make it part of your SOPs, put together a form that collects all this up front. You can get it over the phone, and just get it the same way every time for consistency. So let's pretend this data loss was right before Christmas. Let's just go back in time. Let's do the week before December 20th. Okay. Date received, I don't really use. Date contact, I don't really use. Date inspected, I do use. I'm going to come in here to, let's keep it as real as possible here. I'm going to go to my photos. Oh, photos is empty because I did a Matterport on it. When was this Matterport done? Well, we got to open Matterport anyway, right? We got to get into Matterport to do our review. You guys are going to need this link anyway to follow along. I'm going to put this link in the chat here shortly. Kelso, Washington. I was way off. Okay. Here we go. Where's my chat? Where's my chat? Don't worry about the price list. Just put in whatever price list. Put in your local price list. Okay, there's the link to the Matterport. And this Matterport should tell us when it was scanned. Oh, it was this year. Okay. 329. All right, good enough. Did I just get kicked out of Xactimate again? Nope. Okay. I'm going to say March 29th. March 29th. Okay. And this is all just in the first page when you open up a new estimate. So claim rep, I put the adjuster in there usually. Reference, I don't use. Estimator, I use myself. Or if I'm writing an estimate for a contractor, their estimator name goes in here. So I'm gonna take the time to put in whoever else might be in here. I mean, you can see I've got a gazillion, but I am right here. So I'm going to show you what this looks like. This is the estimator window. You can edit this, put in all the pertinent information. And so you're going to be reusing this on every single file you write. So you might as well just put all this in here. Where this shows up is the cover page of the estimate. So the more thorough this is, the more professional you look. Okay. Contractor. Let's pick a contractor. Let's pick, who do I want to pick? Let's pick a Washington contractor here, Summit. Once again, you need to put your contractor information in here. Just hit add, and you can put your business in here. Okay. Back up. Oh, what did I do? Summit. Okay. Agency, I don't really use. Claimant, I don't really use. Once again, you don't see most of this on the contractor profile. This is only in the carrier profile. I don't use mortgagee, though you can. I'll let the carriers deal with that stuff, and lost payee doesn't apply to us. Let's going to ask me whether I want to update my price list. Generally, I would say yes. Let's see what it says. Yes. Unable to find the price list. Well, because I put a weird zip code in. That's why you can't find price list. Fine. Okay, so claim number, very important. Very important. Get that right. Policy is less important. It's important to me because I'm a public adjuster and I like to keep my stuff. If you can get the policy and the claim number, you'll be leaps and bounds ahead of folks that don't do that. Type of loss, this is a fire. Now you can edit this list. If you want to, if there's something that you can't, that's not on the list that you want to put on the list, just once again, hit add right here. But we do have a fire here. Cause of loss, let's see. None of the above. I'm going to go other. And then scooter, because it was. This is not a catastrophe-related event. If it was, yeah, if you're doing cat work, that's a different animal altogether. But most cats come, once it's determined it's a cat, they give it a code and you can put that in there. Inception date relates to the policy. I get that off the policy when I get a copy of the policy. You guys don't generally need a copy of the policy, so ignore this, ignore that, and ignore that. This is what I like to use. Once I get the policy, I like to fill out my coverages. So let's say they have $750,000 worth of coverage for dwelling. Generally, they get 10% of that for other structures. But once again, this is going to come off of the policy contents. I'm just going to put some numbers in here so we can have them. Loss of use, we don't get into as restorers. We don't deal with ALE, but as a PA, I do. But so I would fill something out there. I'm not going to do that. You can also add coverage here. This is another thing I like to use this. That's why one of the reasons I like to use carrier profile is if I want to separate portions of this loss, I can add a different coverage and it will calculate it differently. So here's a great, let's add mitigation coverage. Let's add ordinance and law. That'd be a good one. Usually 10% of your overall coverage. Oh. And let's add, it's best that you can put in here. You can see, once again, if you're not seeing what you want, or there's nothing in this list, you hit smart list and you add it. Let's do mitigation. We're gonna do two different Xactimate files today to keep the mitigation EMS separate from the structure. But if you want to do them on the same thing, you could do it by just putting another coverage. Let me show you what different coverages mean. Let's give them some money here. Usually there's no separate limit for mitigation, so we're going to go 750,000. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to go in here and show you where that coverage comes into play. No price list. Well, craptastic. Okay. Washington, Central Washington State, Southwest Washington State, Q322. That's probably going to be applying better for me. Once again, I have no idea what this tax is. Let's go 8.2. Okay. So let's do some extraction. just for instance. So you can see when I do extraction, I have this option to choose what coverage it comes under. So let's do one under. Yes, I don't have anything defined because I haven't sketched anything yet. Come on. Okay, and let's do. I'm just picking random things and random coverages. Okay, so you can see we've got 3 different things, 3 different coverages, and this is what it looks like when you print that out. I'm going to Documents, Reports. I'm going to print out a, let's just do a rough draft. Rough draft is my preferred version. Rough draft shows your calculations. It shows the details you need to do a side-by-side comparison with another estimate. Rough draft, just great. If I want to send a big FU to the carrier, I'll do it in abbreviated because it doesn't give them enough information to do their job. We're going to talk about the different reports here at the end of class today. If we have the time. But for now, let's just see what this rough draft looks like. Do a little preview. And you can see with the coverages, it breaks out the coverages at the end of the estimate into the coverages. So $97 on the under the dwelling, $59 on the contents, and $28 in on mitigation. But then it totals it at the same time. Okay, that's why I like to use carrier profile with different coverages, because it breaks it out nicely and allows me to have conversation about separate coverages and separate items instead of trying to look at the whole. Okay, we don't need that open anymore. We are just getting started here, folks. Okay, here we go. Okay, we're in coverage and loss. We did that. We put in our coverages, parameters. This is where the price list goes. Honestly, I should know this. I have no idea what checkpoint price list means. Sometimes it comes with a checkpoint price list. Sometimes it doesn't. I have no idea. This new construction button is something you never want to touch. I think it was disingenuous of Xactware to actually put this option in. What this does is it turns on different efficiencies, different labor efficiencies. It assumes that you are more efficient with a new construction, ground up construction, than you are working in a restoration environment. We are never not going to be working in a restoration environment, so new construction will never apply to us. Okay. And rest of this stuff you leave the same. Tax jurisdiction, obviously you want to get accurate. Price list filter, I have no idea what that means. All right, I'm just being real. Okay, I don't mess with tags. I don't know really how they apply. I don't like to depreciate anything, so I always turn off depreciation unless I'm really going at it with an adjuster and I'm the PA and we're talking about depreciation. I turn off depreciation and I turn my MAC depreciation to 0%. You as restorers are not adjusters. You do not make coverage decisions and you do not interpret policy. That's none of your business. All right. So you shouldn't be depreciating anything either. If you have an adjuster asking you to apply depreciation, you need to tell them that you are not the adjuster. You cannot interpret policy. All right. Just don't get involved in that. So, okay, here's where O&P goes. I rarely do cumulative overhead and profit. What that means is it applies the overhead and then it recalculates the 10% for the profit on top of that total there. I don't do it that way. And there was a question, was it Earl said 10 and 15 versus 10 and 10. This is where, we went through this yesterday, and I talked to you guys yesterday about custom pricing. You need to build in whatever you need to build in order to accomplish your business goals and cover your overhead, cover your costs. All right. And if that means if you don't customize your price list at all, that means that you might need what would we say, 20% and 12%. No, that was your margin. You're going to need 47% total. So you would split it up. Let's say, just for instance, you'd put 20% overhead and 27%. This is, I'm talking in circles now. This is not a margin. This is a markup. Okay. Let me bring up. Where's that sheet at? Goodness gracious. It's probably quicker to go to the website. Oh, come here. Here we go. Baking in profits. Did I send you guys a link to this yet? Probably not. I'll put that in the chat as well. Okay, so this, keep in mind. All right, what we're talking about here is this here. 10 and 10 is a markup, not a margin. Okay, so 10 and 10 is a 20% markup. If you need to cover this kind of margin, 32% margin equals a 47% markup, you need to put 47% in here somehow. Now, to avoid the melting down of adjusters' brains, if we were to put 47% in here, we opt to customize our price list and put 10 and 10 in here. So to review, yesterday we decided that 47% markup is needed. If we have 47% markup, where's that button? Where's that? There it is. 47% minus this 10 and 10 we're about to put in here equals 27%. So you would need to put another 27% in here somewhere if you split it up. So it'd be 27 and 20. This is what it would look like: 27 and 20. Whoop, I hit tab. Now I don't know any adjuster is going to look at that and not lose their minds. So we're politicking a little bit with our approach to how we get our markup. But at the end of the day, we have to get our markup. And by the way, mitigation still requires a markup. There is no margin in our mitigation line items that accommodate for our overhead or our profit considerations. Now, there's some shadow margins that we all know instinctively that mitigation is more profitable, but there's still no way to measure that within the Xactimate line item. You have to add it. So I'm a big advocate of even the mitigation. This is a mitigation, by the way. We're doing this first one. I put 10 and 10 on everything. It's like Frank's Red Hot. Put that shit on everything. Okay, here we go. Company header. You need to develop, a company header. I'm assuming a lot of you already have a header developed. I'm going to use my claims delegates header. I'm going to edit this so you can see. That's as easy as it is. You need your header information, your company name, and an image of some kind. All right. That's as easy as it gets. Keep in mind that this is going to be on every single it's going to be on the top of every single page of this estimate. So if you don't have a sexy logo, go get a sexy logo. Go to Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, and get yourself a sexy logo. It's worth it. It's worth $5. Okay, opening statements. Hopefully everyone got into the opening statements and macros I sent over this morning and installed them. So once you install them, they're going to be available via this list right here. I like to use, this one is a mitigation. So let's find our mitigation. I've got too many, frankly, and there's too many different macros and opening statements in the files that I'm providing to you guys. So use them with caution, or find one you like, customize it for yourself, and then save it as your own. So if you don't have a macro installed, you can copy and paste, right? You can come in here. Let's do whatever. I mean, you can just copy from anything. Copy that. And you can come in here. Oh, and edit this blank opening statement and just paste if you want. It is as easy as that. Where the fanciness comes in is when you use tokens. So I'm going to get rid of this. And I'm going to use my mitigation so you guys can see mitigation 3. I'm assuming this is the most current one. And look, not a whole lot to it. In my opinion, mitigation is done. You bill for the services you rendered. There's no estimate to it. It's an invoice. It's costs incurred. That client has signed your contract. They signed your schedule of fees. They owe you that money for the work that you actually did. So as far as opening statement goes, there's not a whole lot else to it. You can get fancier with it. I mean, you can say whatever you want. Let's choose, I'm going to choose structure 3 because I think that's the most current one. Yes, replace. So you hit edit and you come in here and see this isn't super long, super complicated either. I have a more, I think what I call the complete opening statement that's gone through about a gazillion revisions over time. You can see this one as a little more advanced. On the mitigation side of life, I don't know if you need to go this deep. We are definitely going to use something like this when we put a structural repair estimate together. Let me pause real quick. Any questions so far? Am I losing anyone yet? Okay. So you can read through here. What I want to draw your attention to is these things in brackets. This company name, this estimator name, this sum grand total. What these are automatically generated values that come from the estimate, comes from the information you already input. Okay, I'm just going to save this and do a quick print and show you guys what that means. No, please don't resequence the line items. So where we had before, let's open that up. It said sum grand total. It replaced it with the sum grand total. It said estimator name. It replaced it with my name because I listed myself as the estimator. These are automatic things that you can put in with what's called tokens. Let's look at tokens. Claim info, opening statement, edit. Tokens are right here with this T. See this big T. I'm just going to come right here and insert a token. You can see the list of tokens here. Oh, I can't make the list longer, but I can scroll. That's convenient. Thanks, Exactware. So there's tons, right? So I concentrate on what what I use most. Sum grand total, that is what it is, right? Deduct, you can get fancy with it if you want to call out different things. But at the end of the day, you don't need a whole lot. I am a big fan of putting the total number right up front. I don't like forcing people to go through 100 pages of an estimate just to get to the back page, to get to the brass tacks, to get to the end of it. I want to show them right up front. This is what you're in for. So you can see with this opening statement, that's the first thing that shows up. The total number shows up right here. And I called out some IBC codes here, but we're going to go into this when we write our structural estimate. So let's move on just for the sake of time. We're going to replace this with our mitigation. Let me see, MIT. Can I search? Okay. MIT, Air Guy says it did a little different. What is that? Let's look at that. Forget what. Okay. So this is an estimate. Interesting. You can see I've got a John Evans out of New York. Wants to get a little more fancy with his stuff. So this is what we put into all his mitigations. So get with your office staff, get with your owner or whoever else, figure out what all you want to communicate to the client and the adjuster with your opening statement, because this is the first thing they see. Within these opening statements, you can obviously do formatting here. I would rather bold that and underline it. I'd like to get, separate it that way. I'd like to get some paragraph separation, blah, blah, blah. Just figure out what works for you guys. All right. I'm going to change this back to something dead simple. There. That's it. That's all you need to know. Mitigation and drying services invoice. Actually, I'm just going to bold that thing, bold it. And it wasn't technically it was demolition. So there. That's it. That's all you need. You want to put in some other stuff? Fine. Next, closing statement. I like to use 9 times out of 10, I use O&P. Right here. And this is, and you guys have a copy of this. Oh, this is the excerpts from the O&P white paper. Actually, this one looks old because it's from the 2011 O&P white paper. There's a newer one, says 2020. That yeah, it is new because the old version, the old language did say general contractor O&P, and they got rid of the contractor portion of that, if I remember correctly, and it's general O&P. Is the new language they use in the most updated O&P white paper. So I think I owe you guys a revised version of this closing statement. But for now, we're going to use this one. We're going to use the closing statement. Now, do adjusters even care or pay attention to this? No. But when things get weird and go legal, it's really helpful to have stuff like this in your paperwork and in your estimates and your invoices, so you can explain to the jury, hey, this is our common business practices. There's nothing weird about it. This is how we do business. This is why we charge 10 and 10. And as you can see, when we do custom pricing, I think I'm over explaining these opening statements, but let's look at this for Xactimate pricing. Excuse me. What's this say? To be used as a baseline to play or place to begin creation of an estimate. Blah blah. Blah. Okay. I don't like that one as much. I like the one, and I think it's the STR3 that says, yeah, okay, so this is what it says. The price list, which this automatically puts in the name of the price list you use for this city in this state, was used. So what that does, if you have a customized price list, it tells them, and come back into reports, view this, says right here, the Washington Q3 under this price list for Vancouver, Washington market was used for some of all the unit costs. So this just tells them, this is the price list I use. You don't have to apologize for that, but you're telling them, you know, right here and right here, this is the price list I used. I didn't use whatever price list you want me to use because I don't work for you. Okay, there we go. All right, we got our opening statements. I think I've beat that horse. All right, any questions on opening statements or anything so far? Okay. I'm going to kill this and let's open up where is our checklist? Here we go. We're going to follow this checklist twice today because we're going to do a MIT and we're going to do a emergency services. Okay, locate our scope notes. You guys should have those from yesterday, right? We've got, can you guys see my video? I don't know if you can. So here's our scope notes. That's our repairs. And full disclosure, I accidentally deleted the room notes that we took yesterday. So if someone could talk me through who has the room notes for the mitigation that we took yesterday filled out. Anyone? Somebody has to have them, please. Please, for the love of all that is holy, tell me that somebody has them. I think Brianna was taking good notes yesterday. Oh, that's fine. Well, we're going to make it up as we go along, but in a perfect world, we have scope notes. All right.
I have the scope notes.
Perfect. All right. You're going to be talking me through the mitigation portion of this. I have the notes. I have these for the structure. But okay. You share that back. And you guys should have this checklist, but if you don't, what's the best way to send it to you? I think I can do it through the chat. Copy to desktop. Okay. Stick to the plan. Open. Okay. That has been sent. Okay, we got scope notes. Make sure folders are set up correctly. We have this job. Where's my job? Yeah, here's our folder. We want to have this up and available to reference. We have our Matterport open here. There we go. All right, we're ready. Label and rename photos. We don't have any photos on this because we did it all through Matterport. But if we did, I would advocate that you come in here to photos and you rename them. Kitchen. Xactimate has a great, or not exact, Windows now allows you to do it really easily. What I do is I select them all and I hit rename, or I think it's F9, and I type in kitchen and it renames them all kitchen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I select all the bathroom photos and I say bathroom, and it says bathroom 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't know if I have one that I could show you real quick, but just trust me, that's the way to do it. Okay, step number 4, assign the estimator. We've already done that, right? We've done that over here somewhere. We've assigned our estimator right here. It's going to look a little different in contractor profile, but that's where you do it. Okay. Apply deductible. Deductible, once again, is applied here. Where? Where is deductible? It's over here. There it is. Apply deductible. Let's say it's $1,000 deductible. Just be careful when applying deductible, because it's going to take that off of the total. And when you're billing your customer, you want to make sure you bill them for the full amount, not minus deductible. I'm a huge fan of getting that deductible up front as a deposit on the MIT, just to get it out of the way. Style points. Okay, company header, we went through that. Opening statement, we just went through that. Price list, we just went through that. We did it in a little bit different order. That's okay. O&P, we did that. Price list default. Let's talk about that. In here, where is it? Price list default. No, maybe it's here. I'm looking. It's in here. The default tells you what function is being performed by default. Here it is. X1 changed so many things. Okay, so you can choose. So if I'm doing the repairs, right, and we're going to change this when we do our repairs, we're going to change it to replace because the demo has already been done. And here, since we're doing demo, we should just change it to remove. Excuse me. So what this does is it makes it so you don't have to select this every time you put in something in the estimate field. So here, you can see this is the action we're talking about, this ACT. Well, that's a bad example because there's only a couple. Let's just do here. Since by default we've set it to remove, it automatically puts a negative in there. We don't have to select that. And if we want to change it to something else, we have to select that function from within here. That is all that this activity default means. So it saves you some time at the end of the day. Okay, here we go. Add photos to Xactimate, labeled by room. This is cumbersome, and I only advocate doing this if you're doing program work, but it's here, and you have to load images. Yeah, where do I have some images I could load real quick? Someone show me some images. Where are we at? Nope. Here we go. I'm just going to select all these. We loaded them, and then estimate folders. I think this checklist is a little outdated. It's 2 years outdated because Xactimate doesn't have any folders for me yet. When you start putting rooms in, it'll have a folder for the bathroom, folder for the bedroom, folder for this and that and that. And then you can change, you can just start dragging these over into their appropriate folders, right? And if they're named, if you change the name before you import them, they're going to have obviously be different than DGI 0602. I'm not a huge fan of how Xactimate treats photos, so I advocate just send a photo sheet, send a separate document, create a separate report. If you have to send photos, otherwise send a link to your Drive and things like that. But for program jobs, you have to do them this specific way. So looks like I need to update this form because we're out of order. We just order of operations a little bit wonky. Okay, create sketch. Let's create a sketch. Okay, that's it. So that's the section we're on right now. Let's get to work. Okay. Estimate, sketch. Here we go. I like to set up my view first and foremost. I want to make sure that measurements is on, and I want to see the grid. I like to see the dots. Call me weird. Okay, so this one, I do believe I have a underlay image ready to rock and roll. Yep, here it is. So this is an underlay image I purchased from Matterport for 15 bucks. And what we're looking at is here, entryway in this room here, we know is the bathroom. So let's import that sucker. I'm going to drag it to my desktop for convenience. Xactimate makes you dig through everything to find it. Oh, we can't do a PDF. I think we can do a PNG though. Which one? Okay, so they send the PNGs by level. Okay, if we want that one. Okay, copy. Let's come back to Xactimate. Am I kicked out again? Nope, I'm still in. Okay. Hopefully it doesn't kick me out. We're going to import. Options, import, underlay image. I'm going to go to my desktop and open that one. Make this full screen. Zoom in as much as we can. 12'6" by 8'9". That feels like more than 12'6". Really? I mean, we're looking at this thing. Maybe it's not. Yeah, I could be wrong.
I'm sorry, had you already sent us that schematic floor plan?
Nope, but I can do it right now.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, let's do that. There you go. I'll give you guys a second. Oh, what do you know? It is about 12'6". While we're here, what's our ceiling height? Who's that guy? It's good looking. 9'2", so we're missing draft. So 9-foot ceilings. Okay, that works. Okay. You guys ready? I'm gonna start setting my scale. So I'm gonna use these arrows right here because I can get right to the end. All right. Yeah. Sometimes you got to pull it off and reset if you overshoot.
Did you send that through email?
No, I sent it through the chat. Through the Zoom chat.
I'm not seeing anything. I don't know why.
Oh, it's right there. Hmm. Let's try it again. Okay, try that. Can everyone else see it? Is anyone else having problems finding that PNG file? I'm gonna go ahead and send it via email. All right, I'm gonna move forward here. Oh, come on. So here we are. We've got our scale set. I zoom in and zoom out a lot, but if you want to move from one, like I zoom out here and I'll zoom in up here if I want to move across. But you can also hit the space bar. You can see it turns your cursor into a hand, and then you can move the entire thing. Or you can select just the underlay image and select the red handle, and you can move it as well. Okay. And you don't need an underlay image to do this, right? You could do it from scratch using your own pen and paper. You could have it, have this image on the side and do it that way. So I'm going to hit R. Whoops. Hit R. R. What? Oh, I'm on the wrong window. Here, go to Tools. Now I can hit R. Oh, craptastic. I put this. Okay, look at your levels. I have an exterior level that's automatically added to estimates, which behaves differently than an interior level. So that's why it's not allowing me to do a room. All right, I got to make sure I'm in the right level. Here's my main level. Now I'm going to import an underlay image. Now I'm going to set my scale again. I like to make it as big as possible on my screen to try to eliminate as much margin for error as I can. There it is, 12.5. And okay, here we go. Now I can hit R. There's a room. So I'm going to line that sucker up right about there. It looks like these walls are 6 inches, not 4 inches. Let me come down here. Nope, that's 4 inches. So the exterior wall is going to be 6 inches. Before we go too much further, let me show you what that looks like here. That's a 4-inch wall, right? I double click on it. I can go to properties and change the thickness to 6. Also, in options up here in top left, options preferences, you can set what the default thickness is. Here's a room default wall thickness 4 inches, ceiling height 8 inches. If I know all the ceilings in this room house are 9 foot, I'm just going to change this to 9 foot right here. So every new room I add is automatically going to have 9 foot ceiling. While you're in here changing your preferences, make sure that deduct windows from wall calculations is clicked and deduct doors from wall calculations is clicked. It used to be when we started working with Xactimate back in 05, I think. Xactimate's been around longer than that, but that's when I started using it. It didn't have, you could put in for windows, but it did not remove the window calculation from, or maybe it did, and I just never did it. It took an adjuster calling me and say, hey, you need to remove your window calculations from your walls. And I said, what? What do you mean? I had no idea. And at the end of the day, it's just ticky-tack stuff, but it does add up. It changes your calculations for paint and all that stuff. So I understand why they do it. So we do it for them. I like using a 45 or a 90-degree angle for my doors. Call me weird. And then this, I'm not sure that means. While you're in here in preferences, change your flooring properties to maximum fill pieces of 1. And do not use scrap. Turn off. If use scrap is turned on, turn that off. That just makes for messy flat goods or rolled goods calculations. All right, and we're going to do some carpet today. We should do some carpet today. So let's sketch 4 rooms. We're only going to do a scope for 2 rooms, but I want to show you guys how to do carpet the right way. Okay, so here we are. We just laid this room down. We're going to call it entry. I just double clicked on it. It automatically changes to the name. I'm going to tab down. Ceiling height is 9. And floor is, we're not doing anything with the floors. We're not reframing or anything, so we're leaving all this stuff undone. If you were rebuilding this from scratch, you would put in a value here. Just, whatever would apply, and have Xactimate calculate it for you. I can show you, remind me when we're done. I'll open up a big fire job that I did and show you guys the nuts and bolts of that one. So for now, okay, here we are. Entry foyer. We're going to drag this out here. Well, see how I was like, oh, it's 12'7". Instead of trying to get this get it exact, just select this wall, select that handle, click right here, type 12.5. Automatically pushes it out where you need it. And bring this down here. 4'11". All right, let's bring this 1 more inch out. There, 5 foot. I like round numbers. Why does this wall look like it's 6 inches? Yeah, let's play with it. Let's make it a 6-inch wall. There, okay. And then, so we're gonna come around this closet and we're gonna stop our entryway right here. So we're gonna use B for our brake tool. I'm gonna click B. I'm gonna put roughly right about there and roughly right in the middle of that wall. Oh, right here. Let's put it at the edge of that wall. And you can see it split that wall into 3 pieces for me. Then I'm gonna take this and drag it up where I want it, right to the edge of the living room. And let's make it 4 foot. No, let's drag this back down to where it belongs, there. And does this match? If you have trouble with seeing it, you just click this outline. Shift O is what you can use. See if it matches up correctly. It doesn't look like it does. I'm going to move that over just a hair. But, I'm being very anal at this point. It doesn't have to be that precise. Yeah, screw it. I'm going to keep our good number. All right, Shift O will get me back so I can see it. All right, I'm going to add this closet automatically. So I'm going to select this wall. I'm going to hold down the control button, and then I'm going to drag this out. And it adds that room, okay? You can do it a different way. You can just come back out, hit R, and add that room that way as well. But once I get, if I've got a shape of a room that I really, like, okay, closet would just fit right there. I just hold Control, drag it out. And this is the coat closet. All right. Am I losing anybody yet? And it looks like this needs to be brought in here. Are all the walls in this house 6 inches? And it sure feels like it. Let's change the default right now to 6 inches. Wall thickness 6. Okay. Bathroom. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to manually enter the bathroom right here. Drag it in, drag it down. And then the bathroom closet, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to select that wall, hold Control, grab the handle, pull it up. All right. Wall thickness, I got to change them all to 6 inches at this point. So they start matching up. You can see once you get differing wall thicknesses, the corners don't like to match, don't like to line up. So I go into properties. Oh, I got windows over windows here. and change. You can see here, the entry foyer has multiple wall thicknesses. I'm just going to change them all to, oh, wrong way, 6 inches. There, and that cleans up that joint right there. Okay. Let's rename this bathroom. And this would be the, whatchamacallit, not pantry, linen closet. Okay, I'm gonna hit D for door. Oh, D for door. Boom. That one doesn't look like it's lined up correctly. You have all kinds of options here. You can flip it horizontally, vertically, and all this stuff in here. Just don't be afraid to play around with, especially when you're first getting started. I've got a keyboard shortcut that looks better. Okay, and then what kind of door was on this closet? We have any idea? No idea. And another door there. And a door here, right? Let's flip that around. Window was here. You see I do Shift O. It gets rid of the background for me. And I can put my window right there. I'm going to put O. And since I think those are the same, that window is selected. I'm going to Control C to copy it. I'm going to Control V, and I'm going to put it right there. And you can see that now there are windows and doors. All right, we're getting there. Everyone caught up so far? Sketching is, in my opinion, the most frustrating and time-consuming portion of estimating and Xactimate. And that's why I'm such a huge fan of having somebody else do it for me. So if someone else or a program or Matterport or Hover can do this portion for me, that is money well spent, in my opinion. I want my guys concentrating on high dollar value stuff, and sketching is not high dollar value. Putting in line items and creating big estimates is high dollar value, but the sketch portion is just infinitely frustrating. All right, we're going to get a little bit fancy here and try to do this bay window in this dining room. So I'm going to hit R. Whoop, come back here. R gets me right here. Doesn't look like that lined up perfectly, but it's okay. I'm going to bring this out to here. And then I'm going to start with a break. I'm going to see my outline here. I'm going to hit B for break. Put a break right there, all the way to here. And then bring this all the way out to here. Let me show you what that looks like. So I made that square. All right. Now I'm going to hit V for vertex. I'm going to pick the inside corner. And so I got this vertex here. I'm trying to match this line. And I just drag this. Should be right there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is good enough for government work. Okay. Not exact, but who gives a rip if it's exact? We are close enough. So I'm going to hit V again, inside corner, grab the other vertex, and 3 feet feels about right. Nice. Okay. Let's hit W and get our window in. 1'11", let's call it 2 foot. You see what I did? It was an odd number, all right? And as long as this number right here is blue, you can click on it and change it. Make it a 2 foot. I like that window. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it. And then line it up a little bit better. This window looks to be a little bit bigger, I think. Window here to here. Yeah, 2'11". I'm going to make it 3 foot. There. Okay. Is that looking about right? You can double check our work over here. And I think that looks a lot like that. Okay. All right. So I keep clicking back and forth between 3D view, bottom right-hand corner, 3D view, and plan view. You can see the keyboard shortcuts are one. Elevation view doesn't do us much good. You can choose which elevation you want to look at, I guess. I haven't played with this much. There's more advanced people than me that know how to use that. I just don't. So if 3D view is 3, I can hit 3. Okay. And then plan view is 1. I hit 1. Okay, brings me back. This is the dining room. God, I got windows on top of windows here. Shrink that up. Bring this down. We still got everybody? All right. Well, stop me if I don't. Stop me if I'm losing you. That there. Okay, we're only going to do this one. We're going to do the living room next. Oops. I hit the wrong button. I'm hitting R for a new room. There's my new room. Drag out. Should snap to that exterior wall. And we're going to bring it in to there. 14.1. Let's call that room 14 foot. There. And drag it out to the top. 22.6. That's a good round number. I don't remember a door right there. Well, once again, the beauty of Matterport. Come on, computer. Oh, I guess there is a door there. Okay. I'm going to outline view. It did put one window where there are 2 windows, but for our purposes, doesn't super matter. Put a window in there. We do this just to be accurate with our measurements. Well, we did a 14 even, huh? Okay, well, let's bring that. I guess 14.1, that's our number. I don't like it, but that's right. So we can see we've got an opening here. So we're going to put in a missing wall. That's an M. And I'm going to select that and drag it up to there. And that gives me my missing wall. Oh. Okay. I think that goes all the way to the ceiling though. So, no, it's arched. Ugh, there is a way to do an arch. All right, let's dig into it. Select this opening and goes to ceiling. No, shape. Here it is, shape. Flat arch. That looks like a flat-ish arch. All right, right there. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Okay. I don't think the opening is big enough yet, though. Height is more than 6'8". Okay. Let's do 8 foot. Okay, 8 foot. There we go. All right, that's pretty. Well, now that we know how to do that, we can do the same thing with our dining room here. So when there's, if you want to get rid of this whole wall, you hit M and missing wall. But let's do our properties and make sure that goes to ceiling is turned off. No. Opening height is 8 foot. And where's our other option to change the arched? No. Interesting. I'm going to back up. Let's look at this reality. Now I'm getting too deep into the weeds, but it's worth exploring. Okay, so technically we had a little bit of space here on either side of this wall. So it didn't go all the way to the corner here. So we come back here and do our missing wall again, M. Let's do 6 inches from there and 6 inches from here. That should allow us to come into properties and change the shape, which it does. It's a flat arch. It is 8 foot. And that is how you do that. There you go. Okay, we're dining room. I'm gonna just do a missing wall here, just for fun. We're gonna get on with life here. Missing wall here. That is gone. Okay. See, we're there. Let's put in the stairs since we're here. The stair tool is right here. You can hit C, I guess. Okay, when you have something selected, you don't like the, see how it's turned this way? You can hit Tab, turn the direction. And that applies with everything. Roofs, rooms. If you want to do a room, hit R. Come on, but you hit Tab, it'll turn it at 45-degree angles. Okay. But we want stairs. Sometimes it'll just automatically get it there. There. Okay. We're going to do a stair here. Let's zoom in. I just clicked it. Oh, escape. Let's do a stair right here. And then we go up to, looks like it go to the wall. And then you see when I click once, it puts in a landing. The landing's roughly about right. So I'm going to click the landing. And then I'm going to continue my stairs up to, I'm going to keep it short of that door because that door does not lead to these stairs. That door leads down. So there, and then we hit escape and we're done. We have stairs. Okay, we're going to do a missing wall here, missing wall here. Put a railing in. And I'm pretty sure this is a missing wall. Yep, ish, missing-ish. All right, we got our sketch done. Oh, we got to rename our living room. Oh, not laundry room. Okay. Oh, looks like we got a window to put in here. Window. Okay. We got a closet. We got a closet door. I think we've got enough to work with. All right, are we happy with our sketch? I think we are. We've got our sketch. What happened to that file I had open? Where's my checklist? Not there. Okay, we got our sketch done. Step number 13, input scope. Use room sections macro. Okay, ready, set.
Can you show us the vertex again at the bottom of the dining room?
I can just redo it. Let's redo it.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna see that's gone. You start with a square break, B. I'm gonna hit Shift O to get rid of that. And then go outside corner. And I drag it all the way to outside corner. And then I drag the middle down to there, gives me my square. I'm going to hit V for vertex. I'm going to go inside corner. And then grab this vertex and drag it until it snaps where I want it. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Vertex, inside corner. Drag this where it's snapped where I want it. Okay, from here, you can drag this, in and out if you don't like the placement. And if you want to get super technical, you can grab the vertex, hold. Oh, kind of snapped it in a different position. Okay, so let's drag that. Okay, that looks a little bit better actually. Okay, let's see what happens when we drag. Let's grab this one and then drag that back in. Yeah, whatever. So once that angle is done, you can just move it without changing the angle. Or you grab that. Let's grab this one. And here, if you don't do anything and then just try to snap to what it thinks it needs to be, or you can hold Shift. Shift allows you to do micro changes in this angle. If you want to get super precise here, you can do that. But then you see how this angle from this wall is not 90 anymore. But that's how you do weird angles. But you don't hold Shift and you grab it again, it'll snap back to 90. Shift O, W. That's 2-foot window, copy, paste. Gotcha?
So you click vertex and then you drag it along the bottom of the wall, right?
Similar to square break?
Very similar to square break. Yep.
Okay, got it.
Let's do it one more time. Here's my flat wall. I'm going to do my square break. Let's do inside corner. Oh, whoops. And I drag it, I hold, to there. I bring my wall down. You can see I got a square wall. Then I hit V, inside corner, and then I drag this up. V. I just like doing Shift O so I can see the underlying image to line it up a little bit better. And then I have another vertices here, and I just drag it till it find a spot to click into. That looks about right. And then I can just move this wall out. Move this wall out. There. Okay. This particular one, I sketched the porch as well because we had exterior work to do. We're just not going to sketch the porch today. But I can send you a copy of this ESX file if you guys are super curious about this whole thing. I'll send you a copy of the whole fire folder so you can see how I approach it. All right, where were we? Scope. Okay, input scope. Easy peasy. We're going to come over here to estimate items. Whatever. Let's delete everything we did so far. The first room I like to put in is I right click up here and go new, and I like to do general conditions. Okay. I put it down here, so I drag it back up where I want it. Here's where you can put in a general conditions macro. So I don't know if your windows look like mine, but underneath my search tab, I have a macros tab. Okay. And then in that macro, I think I sent you guys all a general conditions macro. I just double click on that and boom, here it is. And magically, none of it really applies to what we're trying to do here today. Not on the MIT, at least. Okay, well, whatever. So emergency services, mitigation. The first thing is always e-service. Let's say call came in during business hours. Emergency service call. What else would go on general? Some probably took away a pickup truck of debris or two. And supervision may or may not, it's going to apply on the repairs, but not really on mitigation. Mitigation is, it is what it is. So as far as general conditions, I think I'm comfortable doing that. Did we do our deodorization? No, we didn't do our deodorization as part of the MID. Okay, so let's just come right into entry foyer. All right, I need whoever had our notes. Who had our notes? Was it Shannon?
Yeah, it was me.
Okay, so what's the first thing? First thing is extraction, right?
Yep, extraction, full floor.
EXT. Oh, sorry. WTR, EXT. But it's hard surface, right? Yep. And the whole floor. So you see
Yes.
Xactimate says F. I like it. We're going to do F. What was next?
We could add our antimicrobial right now.
Okay. Germ. I like germ B. Floors and walls, you think?
Yes, I would do that.
F plus W. Okay,
Next, we have contents. We did 0.25.
we can do that or that by the room or by labor hour. Let's just do labor hour 0.25. Okay,
Okay, next we have base, perimeter floor.
we can do it under the water category.
Water base.
B. Base, tear out baseboard. There we go. Perimeter floor. Done.
We have 3 casings, so we did 17 times 4.
I think it's trim. There it is. Trim. So what do we do?
17 times 4.
13 times 4. Okay. You can see how this just becomes a data entry exercise. And
Mhm.
it's going to take you a little bit longer because you don't have it memorized. You're like, oh man, you're going to come over to search and do, casings. You may or may not find, but that one's a tough one because they call it differently in the water category. But yeah, you're going to spend a whole lot more time searching than I do, but you have the search bar there. That's for you to use. Okay, we got our trim.
Next, we have drywall removal, and we use the W.
We use the HMR, didn't we?
I believe yeah. Specifier.
Drywall, this linear foot. Okay, didn't come up automatically exactly how I like it. So I'm going to click on the arrow and come over, tear out wet drywall, clean up. Okay. Okay, and now we're going to change this. I just get rid of the cat through there. And then how much should we do? Walls and
We
ceilings?
did walls.
We didn't do the ceiling?
I didn't write that down,
Yeah,
but we do need to do the ceiling too. So yeah, we need to add that.
there we go. And then HMR INS is our insulation.
We did EW, exterior walls.
Okay. Okay, we're going to just get rid of the cat 3 and EW. It's only going to allow us to do EW if we're in the main level. So let's figure out a different shortcut. We could do half the walls, wall divided by 2. We could do here's a fancy one. LL times 9. Right? That's the length of our longest wall times 9 foot tall. That'll get us there. Yeah, because if we do half the walls, it's not going to be. Actually, I think if we did half the walls because we're missing so many walls, it would actually short us. So, yeah, that 12.5 times 9, I think is the better way to go. Okay.
What does LL mean?
The longest wall.
Longest wall.
Length of long wall. You come in here, let's come in the calculator, and you hover over LL. Length in feet of long wall.
Got it. Okay.
So it just picks the longest wall.
Next, we have floor demo. It's going to be a tile floor full.
Okay. There's 100 different ways to do everything Xactimate. So let's just search tile floor remove. See what comes up. There we go. Okay. There's a WTR category for that. Okay, WTR, just click on it not after hours. No. So it's WTR FCTA. Yeah, non-salvageable tile floor, back from disposal. Now let's look at what's included in that line item. There's no image, but you can click for detail and say labor cost to remove and bag non-salvageable tile floor, discard. And, yeah, okay. That's it, I guess. Not fancy, but it'll work. Okay.
All right, and then next we have number of doors detached. We have one in the entry, one slab.
There it is.
Okay, and then moving on to equipment. We have 2 air movers.
Let me stop right there. I forgot a very important thing. A macro. This is mitigation activities, room sections. There we go. Oh, that didn't show up very well at all. But as you can see, let's just go in here. First section, cover, protect, contain. This just follows the order of operations for your common mitigation activities. Demo, clean, and equipment. Okay. So I'm going to move this all the way to the top. I'm going to move this to the top. We didn't do any cover, protect, containment per se, so we can delete that note and then clean, sanitize. Oh, actually, I take that back. We did. Content manipulation would be under cover and protect. Okay, clean, sanitize, that would be here. Demo comes up here. Demo, 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 demo. Clean, okay. And demo. Okay, equipment. So you can see how this looks when you print it out. It just looks a whole lot nicer when you have it sectioned out. And especially when you have your equipment at the end, it just gives someone, they get whoever's reading it is used to seeing it. It's always at the end of the room, in every room. It just makes it a whole lot easier to read. So let's look at, just for example. You see how it just parses it out real nice. Instead of just this big old word wall, and then they have to dissect. All right, we don't need that open anymore. Okay. Estimate items. All right, we had equipment. We had air movers, WTR DRY, air mover. We had how many?
We had 2.
2 times, how many days was that? The 21st
7/21 to 7/28.
So that's 7 days.
Oh, we also had a DHU and a negative error.
Water, THM, extra large. Just so you know, it's determined by AHAM, pints per day removed. Most of you are using the XX, 110 to 160-ish. But if you're not, you're using something bigger, just use something bigger. Use the, actually that's the extra large. Some are using the large, or do what's appropriate. And we didn't go into DHU calculations or anything like that, but this is where it's important that you do your DHU calculations and understand what level of how much dehumidification is being called for, and you use the appropriate amount of equipment. And you use your dehu calculations to justify the amount of equipment you use. But here we didn't do that. This is not a WTR class. This is an Xactimate class. Okay, so we got 1 dehu times 7 days, right?
Mhm.
And then we had let's put that negative error in the main level, because we probably moved it around here or there. So WTR negative error, and it's probably bigger. How many? This is a 700 to 1400 CFM. That'll cover pretty much whatever. And we didn't, yeah, I'm going to say we left it there for the whole time. Okay. Okay. Anything else on our list? What kind of side notes did we have?
Let's see.
Oh, I have my hand notes. Okay. Extraction, contents, floor demo, emergency service. Okay. Toilet drain block. We'll do that in a second. Plumbing stops. We'll do that in a second. Okay. I think that's it.
Yeah.
Coat closet. Let's, we didn't do anything in there, did we?
No, we just did the bathroom.
Okay. So we can reorder these as well. I'm gonna drag this down. Linen closet, it was off the bathroom. Okay. So of what I would say you should do is just take all this. You click the top one, hold down shift, click the bottom one, Control C, copy, bathroom, click in here, Control V, paste. All right. That'll get you started. It'll get you down the road. Now, our notes. We had that, right? We had a quarter
Yep.
hour.
We had that.
And then we had the tile floor for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But let's insert here. Just hit insert. So I had this, I selected this line and hit the insert button. And this is a toilet detach, one of those. Where's our plumbing? I can't remember.
Called it like a stop value or a drain block.
Plug, maybe. Let's just see what comes up. Let's see what this says. Nope, doesn't say anything about a drain.
It might be under a plumbing line item.
Yeah. Well, let's try PLM and see how quickly we can get down this list.
There's something called a plumb plug.
That looks like it. Yeah.
PLM, yeah, plug.
Okay. Well, we had 2 of those. Okay, and then are you guys aware of Actionable Insights? There we go. Okay. Let's do shut off. Covered plumbing activities. Okay, plug. Remove plumbing fixture supply line. Oh, let's use that one. Plumbing cap. Plug for demo and bag. Okay. That looks like it. Okay, so here's our cheats. So just so you know, it's getinsights.org. You can get signed up for these wonderful little cheat sheets. So here we are. This is a PLUGT2. This is P-trap. Okay. I'm going to change this plug to 1. And we're going to do a PLM cap C. We're going to do 3 of those because 2 for the sink and 1 for the toilet. And I think that is it. Okay. I'm going to leave Actual Insights open though, just in case we need it again. So you can purchase, I could purchase that macro if I wanted to, which would give me all those line items. And they have some other pretty useful stuff over there. Getinsights.org. Okay, we got our plumbing out of the way. What else we got in that room?
We have detached sink.
Wow, why did I? Okay. Okay.
Detached mirror.
Oh. You see how I don't have all this memorized either. I just do my searches. Plate glass. Okay. How big was that mirror? Let's go 4x4. Okay.
Okay, detached window coverings.
And not seeing what I really. If you don't see something that matches exactly well, I'm going to do one of these. WTR LAB. I'm going to do 15 minutes. And then I'm going to make a note on that. Detach window coverings. And guess what? We need that line item in our foyer as well. Oh, come on. And we're going to move it up to cover and protect. And we're going to do a half hour because it's 2 times. Well, it's good. This could 2 times 0.25. There. Be more accurate. And then that note says detached window coverings because there was 2 windows in there. Okay, back to the bathroom.
Okay, I'm not sure if we decided about removing the light switches in this scope.
Yeah, we're not going to do that in the
Okay.
mid. Yep.
Okay. Let's see. Where are we at here? So we did trim.
Oh, trim. Well, our trim is here, but the measurements can be different. Okay. What was our calculation for that? We had 2 times 17, we had 2 doors, right? 17 times 2. Can you see what I'm typing in here? I know it's pretty small for you guys. We had 2 doors plus a window. What do we have? What did we decide those windows were? Let's take a guess. A window trim. Let's go. Let's call it 10. Baseboard we already got. Water extraction we got. Okay, I like to do things in order of operation. So the extraction happened first. So I'm going to drag it up to the top of this section. And the door slab probably happened before much anything else. But there was 2 doors in there. Okay, so did we demo the linen closet as well?
You know what? Good question.
Yeah, what did we decide? Make the call.
I think you did include it.
Okay. Instead of doing all this one more time for the linen closet, we're going to make that linen closet a sub room of the bathroom, which means that whatever we put in the bathroom, the just adds the square footage and linear footage of the linen closet to that number. So here's linen closet. We're going to go subgroup and we're going to do bathroom. There. And that way, the linen closet doesn't show up in our room list, but we're still using that area in our calculations here. Okay, what else?
All right, that was a good tip, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so let's see. I can't see your screen, but I know that we copy and pasted. So I'll just go through the list here. Drywall plaster, that should be walls and ceiling. Insulation, exterior wall. Floor demo, full tile.
Yep.
And then something that we didn't add on the other room, now we have cabinets to add.
Vanity. Yep.
So we have 3 feet of countertops and 3 feet lowers is what we had. I just had an estimate though the other day where it was charged for the cabinet removal and then the countertop removal, but it was a vanity. And from the pictures, it was just removed as one. So as I was going through the estimate with the adjuster and we both looked at it, he said, yeah, you know, can't approve charging separate countertop when in the photo you could clearly see that you removed the vanity in one piece with the sink attached and countertop.
Yeah. Use whatever's most accurate, whatever makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, I think we got it.
Doors detached, did you get that?
The which?
The doors detached?
Right here, 2 of them. Yep.
Perfect. All right, and then our equipment was 2 air movers. And those were 721 to 728.
So 2 times 7. There we go. We have a grand total of $9,000. That is all I can think of. And that's it. I mean, that is as much as it takes. So we're going to save this and exit, print it, do whatever you want with it. You know, print it. Be sure to resequence your line items. and you can see what this looks like. That is not the opening statement I would use on a MIT. So just keep that in mind if you want to change the opening statement. But that's it. We got our equipment, we got our labor. You know, is 2 dump truck or 2 pickup trucks enough? Or do we get a dump, you know, want to use a dumpster? It's style points. Whatever you actually used is the best way to go about it. So, okay, so we got our scope in. Enable, disable labor minimums. Okay. Where is labor minimums? I believe they are here. Yeah, so your estimate items, labor minimums. Sometimes they're going to be checked, sometimes they're not. I would not apply any of them. It's just not worth the argument, because you know, in a real world situation, did you actually call a plumber out to do that cap? No, you probably didn't. You probably did it with your crew you had on site, so labor minimum wouldn't apply. There's very few times where labor minimum will actually apply. And so using them only adds to an unnecessary argument with adjusters. So I turn them all off. Okay, change user to default. I don't know why I did that in that list. I don't even know where to do that. So, all right. Resequence line items, we just did. Estimate review. It's a good idea to have someone who didn't write the estimate review it before you send it out. But sometimes on the MIT, you don't have time and it doesn't really warrant it. Print a PDF, rough draft version, like I said. Assignment data transfer, that's only if you're doing program work. Email the client. Okay. Okay, that's it. All right, we're going to go back to the beginning. Okay, so we already did all this for the first one. All right, so let's go back here, save and exit. Now I've got to go back into Xactimate again. So I'm going to click on this. It makes no sense to resketch or redo all the work we just did, including any photos that we would have put in. So we're going to come over here, select that, and duplicate it. We're going to name this same name, only STR1 for the repairs, and create it. So here it is, STR1. Come in here, and first thing I'm going to do is delete everything. Estimate. You know, this all should be the same. There is no reason to change any of this, you know, that I can think of right now. Deductible is the same. Everything should be exactly how we used it. We're going to use a different opening statement. I'm going to use let's use that one, complete opening statement. Yes, I'm going to leave the O&P white paper stuff on the end of this one. Okay. And so we're going to come in there, estimate, and delete everything. You can delete it from here. So I just click this main item, hit delete, and line items only. Gone. And you can hold down Shift and select them all, hit delete. Oh, whatever. Maybe you can't. All right. Oh, for crying out loud. Whatever. All right, I'll delete it there. Are you happy? Okay, general conditions. Let's see if we can get a better macro for our general conditions. Okay, what's this have here? Let's make that bigger. Engineering, leave it open, open, open. So when I have something I anticipate using, but I don't have a number to it yet, there's 100 different ways you can try to, say it. I have a list of notes that I use. If you don't have any notes in here in the note, you come down here and hit your smart list and you can add. But you can see right here, this is what I have so far. As incurred, open item, or included. I use that sometimes, or per bid, if I'm going to use the bid later. I use things like the note like not approved to do revisions. An adjuster says, well, you got to remove that. I don't like deleting it. I like leaving it in, whatever they told me to remove, and just marking it as not approved. That just sends the telegraphs to everyone who's going to read this down the line that, hey, we estimated this, we put in for this, and the adjuster told us to remove it, but here it is anyway. When you put a note in, it takes the total out. So if I have a dumpster right here, $625, and then I change it to not approved, for instance. That takes the total out, it takes that money out, but the line item stays there. Okay, and you go in here and clear this note. Okay, so we're going to put in a dumpster. Every dumpster has a delivery charge. Temp toilet, if you're following OSHA rules and you're not rude enough to use the client's toilet, you're going to have a toilet on every job of size that's more than 1 day. And there's a delivery charge with that. Okay. Supervision, we're going to address after we're done with the estimates. So we're going to put a 0 in there, just a placeholder. And general cleanup, we're going to address that as well once we figure out how long this project's going to take. Temporary power doesn't apply in this situation. Let's assume we had power in the house. Well, let's not assume that. This is a bad fire. We had to bring in an electrician to do temp power. So let's leave that in there. And maybe we did have 3 weeks. Oh, temporary power cable. Okay, that applies. Distribution box. Sure, 15 days. We'll adjust this once we get the totals for our project. What else would you guys consider part of general conditions? I'm going to open up the actual estimate here. What did we have in general conditions? Air duct cleaning. Okay. Okay, everything that was done there. Demolition, supervision. Travel time. I like that. I like travel time. Let's do that. Let's just do. And just put in a placeholder of 1 and call it travel time. This was about an hour and a half away from everything. It was a long ways out there, but let's figure that out after we're done. Okay. All right, I'm going to bring up what I actually did on this job so we can cheat a little bit today. Dining room, kitchen, living room. Where's my entry? Come on, come on. Entry foyer. All right, so before we get into this, let's review what I actually did on this job. Oh, I did some framing. Okay, we can do that. We can cover that. Floor protection, that was a little fluffy, seeing as how we destroyed the floor. Okay, drywall. Looks like I missed the, what is this? What room was I looking at? Windows, window flashing, door, threshold, peephole, kick plate. Wow, okay. All right, let's get back to business. Okay, we got our general conditions, we got our photos in already. We did our sketch already. Here we go. Let's input the scope as we came up with it yesterday. There we go. Entry. I've got my notes here. I'm going to put deodorization in the main level because we did it on the whole house. So CLN DOD, what do you guys use? What's your favorite technology? Some guys use hydroxyl. Some guys use thermal fog, which I do not like. Deodorized building ozone hydroxyl, 6 cents. I'm just going to put in what I use, DOD-NAN, which is BioSweep, nano deodorization. It's hydrogen peroxide gas. And my guy, as of right now, is, I think it's 28 cents a cube. And you can see if you use the main level, you can use the value called V for volume, cubic feet, that's volume. And we have 6,200 cubic feet in this house. So we got 1,700 cubic feet of deodorization. Okay, ELE rewire. Let's put that in the main level as well. Rewire residence right there. Okay. All right, let's get into our entryway. So the first thing I have is 1/2 inch OSB FRM. I think this is sheathing. Yeah, we're close. Sheathing. Oh, not CDX. Is CDX OSB? I forget. I think it is actually. And we had how many sheets? 64 square foot. Oh, let's not get too far down the road. Let's put our room notes in. There's another macro I advocate you use. Room. Oh, I've got too many room sections. Let's try that. That's simple. Let's see what this one is. Room template. I like that one better. I like that one better. Use what you're comfortable with. Okay. When you do things like framing in Xactimate, it's going to come up with, it's going to put things in blue that it does automatically. Let me show you that real quick. I'm going to go to Sketch. I'm going to go to Properties. Actually, I'm just going to do this wall here. I'm going to frame this wall. Wall is framed. 16-inch on center, sounds good. 2x4s, let's go 2x6. Auto, 2x6 wall. Okay, okay, okay. So we just told Xactimate to frame this wall for us. Let's see what that looks like over here. Oh, it put it in the main level, and which it tends to do. I see those purple items. Those are all automatically generated. And this note right here says sketch added items, framing footings, auto calculated via Xactimate sketch window. So what I can do is X that out and V, and then move that down to here. So it's going to have this note before it has all these other items that are automatically generated. So I'm going to leave that note. I'm going to come back in here to Sketch and turn that off. None. Okay, we're still in the for your equipment subs and trades. I'm going to click here and get insert. What do we got? What do we have? Deodorization would have been there, but we did it somewhere else. Electrical would have been there. We can do our, I'll just leave that for now. Let's come down to let's do it in walls. I'm just going in the order I have it written down for some reason. Okay, you can skip around. Wait, do we need to take a break? We've been doing this for a while. We need to take a quick break. There we go. All right, we're back at it. I'm gonna wrap this sucker up. We are close.
Yeah.
So close. Go ahead. Oh, was that just a yeehaw? All right, I'll take it. I'll take a yeehaw. All right, we are in it. I have my notes in front of me. So I don't know what your guys' look like, but this is what mine look like. It's not sexy, it's not pretty, but it gets the job done. And we always have our Matterport to back us up. Okay, sharing. All right, we got our entryway. I'm going a little bit out of order because that's how I took my notes, but let's put our insulation in here. INS BT6 F. Now BTF 6. Get a little bit more money for the paper. And we used our calculation of, oh, we didn't put one in, but we know from our MIT it was LL times 9, right? Okay. Clean stud wall. Okay, we're still in the walls. So CLN STD. Yep. Is there a plus? Yes, we'll do a plus. You can also sand the wood. It depends on what you're going at. You know, bad enough fire, I like to use either dry ice blasting or soda blasting. A huge fan of dry ice because it doesn't leave a mess. If you're going to use soda blasting for your fires, be sure to build in enough for the cleanup. I know Xactimate has something for cleanup. Let's look at that real quick. We might as well while we're here. But first, just to make sure this is right. This is This is LL times 9. But then we have to clean the joist, JST, yep, plus. And that's the ceiling. So dry ice. Is it CLN DIB? DIB? No. What is dry ice? Okay, let's come back here. Dry ice. CLN SBI. Okay, CLN SBI. There's soda. Let's go soda sandblasting. Where's soda? Let's do soda blasting. Let's look at what it says for soda blasting. Image here. Excludes, very important. Look, excludes soda cleanup. When you're throwing a pound a minute out into the environment, you have to clean up a lot. It's a lot. So it's not included. Cleanup is not included in that soda. It's probably not included in the sandblasting either. Where's my sandblasting? Excludes sand cleanup. All right, I cannot emphasize enough when especially when you're brand new in Xactimate, look and read at every description. I mean, we can look at this. Let's look at labor cost to remove dry insulation. Oh, hey, guess what we forgot to change? We forgot to change our whatchamacallit, this thing right here. Let's go to claim info, activity, our activity default. We forgot to change that. We gotta
Place.
replace. There we go. See, if we hadn't read that description, it wouldn't have triggered that. Okay, so let's look at the description again. Bat insulation includes bat insulation stables and installation labor. And what I'd like to look for is what it doesn't include. Yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot of that, but it's that's an easy one. All right, let's come back in here. That's a removal. We've got to change that to replace. Actually, let's change this to remove and replace because really we're not going to tear it out in the mitt. Okay, sandblasting. I'm going to do dry ice blasting because there's no cleanup. There's zero cleanup. Okay. And there's a plus for that. I think there's a plus. Yep, heavy, a little more money. And we're going to dry ice blast the floor plus the ceiling. Some guys, one of my friends does dry ice blasting. He says that's not enough. You've got to calculate the square footage, the surface area. Yeah, and maybe let's see what it says. Per square foot of surface area being dry ice blasted. Okay, so to be fair, the floor, the sheathing is going to be that surface area, but the wall or the joist is going to be the surface area of the joist. Now you can get super complicated with it or just try to keep it easy. I'm a big fan of easy, but so if you were going to try to calculate the surface area of the stud wall, right? Let's do it's floors plus ceiling plus LL times 9 because that's our stud wall. But once upon a time I had a quick way to figure it out. But so when you're doing blasting a stud wall, you have the sheathing, which is the square footage, but then you also have the 2x4 on end or 2x6 on end. What the surface area of that is, I just ran out of brain power to figure out something like that. So I might be shorting myself on this calculation, but I'll make it up somewhere else because how much more square footage is there in a stud wall if you calculate the surface area of the studs versus just the surface area of the wall? Is it double? I don't know. You tell me. I mean, and if you really want to do it, figure it out. But that's high level math stuff. So I got dry ice blasting. I'm going to put that under equipment subs and trades because I'm going to sub that function out. Sheathing, I'm going to put under framing and structural components. Okay, you see how I'm organizing this room per our notes that we put in here. Okay, electrical rewired. All right, come back to our notes here. We got clean stud wall and ceiling joist, seal. Okay, let's seal. Let's start with a floor. Let's insert. What's seal for odor? Let's do a search. Seal for odor. Seal underlayment for odor control. There. Okay. And then sealing, we're going to have the same thing. It's PNT JST. Going to use shellac. And we're going to use our sealing. Okay. And then the walls here. PNTSTD. Nope. Huh. Seal. Nope. Yeah. Once again, go back to our search. Seal for odor. S wall. We're going to use shellac. Okay. Oh, we're not going to do all the walls though. We're going to do LL times 9. Okay, flooring. We're going to put in our tile. So floor covering tile, granite? No. Did we decide whether it was ceramic or actual slate? I don't think it was slate.
You said granite yesterday.
Did? Okay. So that's not floor covering tile, that's floor covering stone. Stone floor covering. Marble or granite. Let's go not marble. I'm just going to say this. Stone floor covering. Because I don't know. But let's look at what the description says. Includes a stone, mortar mixer, and installation labor. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Products. That's it. Stone, mortar mix, and use of mortar mixer. I'm not seeing a mortar bed in there. Okay. Okay. Floor covering stone. Mortar bed. Mortar bed. It doesn't have a mortar bed. Stone doesn't have a mortar bed. That's interesting. I know this does. Nope. Come on. I know floor covering tile has it. Ooh, this is one I like to use. Floor leveling cement. Let's use that. There, FCT mortar bed for tile floors. Okay. And F, all right. Okay, we've leveled it. Let's move the leveling up above here. We've sealed it, we've leveled it. We got our mortar bed first and then our stone. Okay. Now, when you're doing something like this, floor coverings especially, you want to check the price. You don't want to lose money on your flooring. You want to make money on your flooring. So come in here into your, and hit the I and look at the material and see how much they're giving you for that material. Price per unit is at $8. Now, if you're paying more than $8, you need to change this price. Okay, so if it's $10, let's say it's $15 a square foot, which is not unrealistic in this world. 15 minus 8 is 7. We have to add $7 there. Or better yet, if your cost is $15 and you mark that up, what's your markup on materials? You got a 30% markup. 15 times 1.3 is 19.5. That's the material cost. 19.5 minus the 8 is 11.5 a foot. That is 11.5. That is the price. So I wouldn't mess around with high grade, low grade, mid grade. I'd just go get a quote. This is the price, and make your change your market conditions to get your total price. So right now, with our change, it's 36 cents, or I'm sorry, $36 a foot, where before it was $24 a foot, right? Okay. What's weird is this has $8, $9 for material here, but only $8 here. I guess, oh, another $1 for the mortar mix. Okay, so that tells me there's mortar included, but I'm going to make the adjuster call me out on that. I don't think the adjuster is going to catch that. And I want to make a little bit extra here. Right, mortar bed. I want to make another $800 for my time, which is, that's fair. So this goes with all materials, frankly. Paint, even if you're paying more for paint than what Xactimate is allowing, you need to change that. You need to change it inside Xactimate to do that. Carpet is a different animal because you got to do a convert from. Let's do some carpet. All right, let's pause this room. Let's put some carpet in the dining room, and we're going to do carpet using. I like using this sketch to do carpet and vinyl for rolled goods, and I'll show you why. So we're going to come in our search. I'm going to go FCZ AV. Let's go premium grade because we can. When you're coming in here and you're placing this, we could even do, let's do the tile floor first. Let's go F, floor covering stone. What was it? AV. Okay. So we could drop this in here and it would calculate that. Or we can right click and see what else Xactimate thinks is related to that item. Okay, maybe. Okay, let's regrout. Underlayment, no. Seal. Okay, let's seal it. So Xactimate's going to put in regrout for us and seal that stone floor for us as well. So once we find what else might be related, we hit OK, and then we can drop it in. I'm going to drop this one into the bathroom so we can see the difference. there. All right, let's come back over here to our estimate items. Bathroom. You can see it calculated it for us because we dropped it in Sketch. And that's our tile floor in the bathroom. But let's come back over to Sketch and do carpet in the dining room. FCCAV++. Premium grade. So I could drop it, or I could right click and see what else I can add. We're going to do pad. Yep, we're going to do a high grade pad at the same time. Okay, none of that else, nothing else applies. Hit OK. And we drop it in. And we'll do carpet in the living room as well. Drop it in. And carpet in the closet, just so you can see. It shows you right here. I'm going to hit escape. You can see in the carpet, it automatically assumes 12-foot goods, which means it's 12 foot wide. So there's a seam here. You can change the orientation. Flooring orientation, you can change it. So I want it coming this way. And you can see where it puts a seam down the middle instead of down this way. I don't know which one's easier to install. We can do the same thing here with the dining room. If we want to change the orientation where that actually adds a seam, where the room, the way it sits, you're better off doing no seams. Okay, I kind of like that way. But you can see how it did the closet. The closet, it put a seam in that closet. The closet's not big enough to have a seam in the carpet. So we got to change the flooring orientation that way. Nope, flooring orientation. Come on. Oh, had it. There it is. That way. What? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why is it? Brian Roush raised his hand. Brian Roush, what's up, man? You're here. You made it. Oh, I need to make you talkable, don't I? There you go. Now you can talk. Talk to me, Goose.
So the thing I wanted to ask on the carpet, like in these rooms in this example, it's that going to be the stone flooring?
What do you? Oh, yeah. Well, actually, if you're doing, yeah, this would be stone. I'm just doing carpet just to show how.
No. I'm saying like in this entry foyer because a thing I note is sometimes the Z-bar is not included in the installation. You know, when you're stretching the carpet for that transition to the stone.
No, it's not.
Yeah, so I just wanted to check. Thanks. That's all I'm chiming in on right now.
Yeah, all the transitions you gotta account for. And the carpet, it didn't give us an option for those transitions, did it?
Nope, didn't see that.
Which is interesting. So I'm a huge fan of graphical estimating. So let's do transition carpet metal transition strip. And I can come in here and select that wall opening and that wall opening and that wall opening and that one. And I don't have to, and probably at the stairs. Yep, right there. I didn't have to measure any of that. I just dropped it in. So while we're here, let's do the windows. Window Let's go, window, WDV, window vinyl, okay. Is it a casement window? No, it's is it double hung? How big are these windows? I think that's a casement. It's about that, right? Is that how big those windows are? No, they're bigger than that.
But wouldn't the property show it if you clicked on it, Andy?
Oh, you mean the window in the, yeah. Great answer. Great answer. It's 10, yeah, 11 square foot window. Okay. What's this one? 8 square foot window. All right, they are small. All right, we're gonna do these. Before we drop it in though, we're gonna see what else we need. Let's do a trim board. Yes, let's do a 1 by
Stools and
6
aprons.
apron sill. Let's do stool and apron. Trim set, casing and stop. Yes. Windows you always want to add for low E. And these had a grid in them. All right, we're going to add for a grid.
Is this a reconstruction? Because I missed that part.
Yes, we're on the reconstruction side.
So those would most likely be retrofit windows.
Well, we're not changing the opening size.
Well, if it was originally a construction flange window, a new construction flange, and you're doing a replacement, it's going to be a casement style with screw into the frame instead of new construction flange, unless you're doing exposures on the outside.
You're a goddamn genius, Gump. All right. Boom.
Been dealing with too many of those. That's the only reason I know that.
There. Okay. So let's see what happens. I'm gonna hit okay, and we're gonna put one there. I'm gonna put one there. I'm gonna put one there. I'm gonna put one there. There. That one's gonna be bigger, and that one's gonna be bigger. All right. Let's choose a here. And we gotta select all those things again. Let's go 1 by 6 trim. Stool and apron. No, casing and stop. Well, yeah, stool, apron, casing and stop, both, right? Oh, what if these had screens? Forgot about screens. Low E glass. Retrofit window.
Most should have screens if per code if they're
Yeah,
accessible.
okay. I'm gonna do that. And we're gonna do, there's actually 2 here, but whatever. We got time. We're up against time here. So for those of you that want to know what that looked like, here we go. Here's our window. It planted all that window. We got one in the bathroom. All right, okay, let's go back here. We got our windows. So dining room, see how the floor goes. This calculation here is for, it automatically did it for us, but if you want to do it by hand, you can type in FLR_RPL for all rolled goods, vinyl and carpet. You do FLR_RPL and it will calculate the rolled goods for you. You can see the difference it's 192 square foot of carpet in a room that's only 164 square foot. That is your excess. That's your waste. That this FLR_RPL is the best way to do it more accurately. And this closet, God bless this coat closet, it's got 26 feet, 26 square foot of carpet going in a less than 8 square foot room. But that's just how the cookie crumbles. There should be a way to manually change how that carpet is being laid in there. I don't like having that seam. I don't understand why there's a seam in there. Nope. It won't. It's so weird. Why is it putting a seam there? I don't get it. And at the end of the day, you can always override it. You can come back here and say, that doesn't make any sense. I think it should be 16 and just do it. Because I've had more than one adjuster call me up irate, talking about hundreds of excess feet of carpet in really small rooms. And at least it forces the conversation. FLR, RPL. Yep. And when you do detachment, when you do R&R, you should do it separately, because your R, let's do FCC AV, let's do R&R. Remove and replace. And FLR, RPL. It should separate it out. Yeah, it does. Interesting. I've never seen that before, but smart. Xactimate knows that you're removing it, so it's only removing the total square footage here, not the replacement square footage. Okay. And purple means it was automatically calculated. Got it? Okay, let's get back to we're running out of time. Let's get back to our notes. Come back into the foyer and finish up. Okay, we got our motor bed for tile, we got our tile, we got our subfloor. Baseboards, here we go. Let's go here, insert. Did we decide this was MDF? I think we did. Where's my screen? I have lost. Here we go. Open you up a little bit more. No, this isn't. Is it MDF? You guys tell me. It could be MDF. It might be MDF. Let's look.
MDF for finger jointed pine. It's one of the two.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's do pine. So FNC baseboard 2 1/4, easy peasy. Perimeter floor. Let's paint it while we're here. P&T B2. Okay. And then, okay, I have drywall listed here. Drywall, 1/2 inch. This is the walls only. And this is, remember I mentioned rounded corners, rounded. Add for bullnose corners. Here. Walls only. That's 40 cents. I'll take it. I'll take $86. Okay, we got the paint. That type of texture comes automatically, just so you guys know. You don't add additional texture to regular old drywall, because it includes metal corners, joint texture compound, drywall nubs, grabber screws. Is intended to account for the type of finish which is the most common simple finish in each market. Okay. Yep. Once again, especially when you're beginning, read every description, top to bottom. It's going to give you some clues. And also, if you want to get a little more insight, do it over here. You know, just for instance, let's do drywall, half. Hung, taped, floated, ready for paint. And I come over here and I right click and see what else. You know, hat channel, that belongs on ceilings for noise in apartments. You might need that. Here's the same thing. Hat channel and RC channel are similar. There's a bullnose we just used. Z channel again for noise. And then it has the paint. Okay. So Xactimate will give you all the clues. You just got to know where to look. High ceilings, there's additional cost for that. Additional cost to hang and finish drywall archway. We've got a couple of those, don't we? Let's try that.
And then you should be sealing that virgin drywall with PVA.
Oh, but that's included, I think.
No,
No?
double check.
All right, I'm gonna hit OK on this arch and see. We have this arch. Not a typical area. Okay. Interesting. All right, we're going to come in here and do it this way. Here's our drywall, insert, DRY, AR, sure. Okay. It says each. Oh, each. Easy. Done. Okay. Another 75 bucks. I'll take it. Drywall. Okay, rigid foam board. That was a weird one that we saw in there. Let's go to framing structural components. Let's bring it in there. And INS, forget rigid foam board insulation, 2-inch, I believe, because this was a weird thing. A weird placement. Oh, what the? Oh, for crying out loud. Come on. I'm lost. Here we go. That even looks thicker than 2-inch. That's some thick stuff. I mean, that fills that whole cavity. So that makes it almost 3 inches, right? Or
It's one, it's a -3, it's a 1-inch.
wait, but that's a stud
I'm
wall.
sorry, I see the top. I apologize. It's the product. Yeah, that's at least 2. That's a 2x4 board.
Yeah,
So that's 1 3/4. That's 2-inch.
I think it's closer to 3. I guess that's all we get. We'll just use that. Okay. And how much did we decide was there? 11 square foot. Okay, now we're going down. Switches. Let's come into our electrical. ELEOS S. We had 2, 3. Actually, we probably had 2, and we had a 3-way. ELEOS S. Nope. Is there? What's the 3-way? There it is. Oh, $13 more. Thank you very much. Okay, ELEOS, and we had how many? Oh, no switch. Oh, no outlets. That's right. No outlets in the entryway. We did have 1 light. Let's put the light. Yeah, let's put the light in the electrical section. LITAV, because I have no idea what it was there. And, once again, if you know what was there and it costs more than $44, change it, make it different, change it into something different. Okay. There's our light fixture, HVAC vent. I'm going to put HVAC up in here. HVC, this is where I like to explore a little bit. What is the most, there's a line item for per room, ductwork per room. There, ductwork, hot or cold air per room. There we go. And then we need the vent, HVC register. Okay, register, got it. Light, HVAC. Okay, exterior door. Let's come down to our wall. Actually, let's back up. We didn't paint our drywall yet. I'd like to keep it in sync. So PNT SP2 plus. No, SP2 plus. I can't make up my mind. Okay, let's do walls. Okay, now we can do our door. DOREXT. No, exterior door. Exterior door. This is a nice door, right? Let's call it premium with a kick plate. Exterior door, metal insulated. Actually, not wood. It's not wood.
Fiberglass, most likely.
I feel like I'm getting hung up on things here. Let's just pick one. There
Yep.
you go. And then a side light. Let's see if there's different grades of side light. So you see, I searched for something, and so I searched and I just put it in, and now I come in here and I make sure that it's the right grade that I want. And it's probably not, but it got me close. I'm going to use there. I'm going to search for kick plate, kick door, kick plate. Sure. Okay. Come back to our pictures. What else?
Finish hardware, exterior finish hardware, handle set.
For sure. For sure.
FNH.
FNH, EX, no. Okay, let's just pull it down. There we go. Lock set, deadbolt, exterior, deluxe grade. Does this door, let's see what this door includes. Oh, it includes side lights. Well, we're going to call that side light the actual window in the door. Yeah. We're going to have to
It doesn't
retro this.
include the hardware.
Does? Wait,
Does not.
that's not. No. I didn't think it would. Door X retro. Probably need to add that.
Mhm.
Okay, got our door, switches, HVAC, vinyl window. We got the windows in already. Where did it put the windows at?
Walls? No, there it is, ceiling.
Well, we put them in sketch, so it just dropped it in at the very end. So here's our window, here's our, and we're just gonna move it up to the walls. There. And then casings, openings. We got our casings for the window already. Do we have the door? The door already includes it, doesn't it?
Are you painting the trim and the apron and stool and all that?
Yeah, we need to do that. I like to do painting, so everyone knows by the opening. So PNTOP, door, window, opening, 2 coats. And I'm just gonna click it and click it and click it and click it. Oh, there's another one. Click it. Okay, that gives me that. And then let's just see casing. Let's try door casing. Door casing. Oh, missed it. Huh. Okay. Let's do 3 1/4 inch casing. And you can select the wall opening. Done. And done. And done. Okay, and if we wanted to, if we're doing all this, we were concentrating on these 2 rooms, but we could, we could do all that. That's just, oh, there. Okay, and then ceiling. Okay, let's get our ceiling drywall in. We decided it was 5/8.
That's a nice home.
It was good. It was nice. Well, for the fire.
It makes all the difference on noise reduction and also better rigidity and better fire safety time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this house would have burned down otherwise. Smoke detector, ELE smoke. And we can't, in Washington State, you can't put in regular old smoke detectors anymore. You've got to
You have to use combo detectors, carbon
Combo.
monoxide and smoke.
Uh-huh.
Do you know where it has to be in every bedroom and in the hallway adjacent?
I believe so, yes.
That is the code, NFPA 70.
So those of you who don't know Brian Roush, he's a machine. Is it say combo? There it is.
Yep. And those all have to be linked and on their own independent circuit.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna delete this note and that note and that note. I'm at the end of my notes for the entryway. Does anyone else have anything else that we might have missed?
In this job, are we responsible for the finished drapery, blinds, shades, etc.?
Great call. Great call. Let's do that via sketch as well. These are probably something in the order of
2-inch
this.
PVC.
Yep. And we're just going to drop it on that window and that window and that window and that window and that window. Okay. For the sake of time, who wants me to go through this bathroom rebuild versus going into supervision and things like that?
Supervision is something that has to be defended constantly.
Yeah, I would think that's more important. You just follow the same thing. I mean, if I'm doing a bathroom, once again, I can drop things in. Toilet reset. I like doing it this way. Once again, I'm hitting tab to get this thing turned around. I'll do it this way. I'll do my vanity that way. CAPVAN with grid at top. And okay, that's 4 foot. So I'll put that in there and then I'll bring it back down to 3 foot. And I'll drop a sink in here. I'll do all that way. And in here, we're going to have another door that we're replacing.
Bathroom fan.
Door there,
light.
bath fan, all that stuff. Look at the demo that was done and just reverse engineer it. But let's look at where we're at. We're looking at 56,882. But before we get, and then we want to make sure that, so this room, we've got some stuff in. Let's put our macro in for, which one did I like? This one? Let's just keep it simple. So, stone floor is going to go on floor. Rig out stone floor is going to be on floor. Just make sure windows going to be on walls. Trim's going to be on walls. All that's going to be in walls. Just make sure it's organized and looks neat. The foyer, I think we have mostly where we want it. Drywall casing. Casing goes in walls. Carpet transition strip goes in floor. Door window opening goes in walls. Okay. Just make sure it looks good and organized. Okay. Let's go to reports. Yes, resequence line items. And let's just take a look. Let's just look at how it looks. Make sure it reads the way we want it to read. Opening statement. And then you just read through the general conditions. Does this make sense? Do you want to add some notes to break this up? That's, purely style points. Okay, you get it where you want. You see anything, you go back and change it. Now let's figure out our supervision, because this job is definitely going to need some supervision. Every job needs supervision, but this one especially. And you can see how I did this one. The powder room, I did cabinetry and countertops separate, and then I did ceiling and walls together. And then the floor, I didn't separate out. That's actually, I didn't write this one, did I? No, I didn't. One of my guys wrote it. That's why it looks different than what I like to see. That's all right. Okay, so we resequenced line items. We did an estimate review. Theoretically, I'm going to print a PDF, but we're not done because we haven't done our supervision. So I'm going to close this out. We're not going to see that again. You need to understand, just do a components report right now. Just go out and print the components report. And this is what it looks like. It gives you what Xactimate estimates your costs are. So these are the costs for materials and all the different materials. It gives you a budget for, $1,400 budget for that vanity. $1,100 or a slab, sidelight. You can add this anyway. But what I want to concentrate on is the labor. How much equipment it's estimating you need in there. Here's the labor, 131 hours. That is no supervision included. So let's look at, I'm going to send you guys this as well, my supervision calculator. And what it does is it breaks down based on your crew size, how many days this project is going to take and how much supervision you can estimate using. So let's just put in 131. Let's call it 132 hours. Crew size, you're going to get 4 people on this or 2 people on this at a time. I think something this size, you probably could just have it. You could have a crew of 2 do this whole thing probably. So let's go with crew of 2. So based on 132 hours, it's 16 man days, but it's reality, it's 9 crew days, okay, which is about 2 weeks, with a 25% project slippage, which no project finishes on time. It adds 2 more days, 2 more crew days for a total of 11. And so 1 job site supervisor and 1 estimator. And I would say, PM estimator on a job like this, probably not going to spend much more than that, a half hour a day. So 5 hours, 5.6 hours. Okay, I get behind that. But this is the real number, full-time supervision. And he's probably working supervisor, but he's still, maybe he's not full-time. Let's do half-time supervision. So here's your numbers. It's right there. These are the defensible numbers based on the hours that Xactimate came up with, based on the crew size you anticipate using. This is just the number. So you have 45 hours of direct job supervision, and you have 5.5 hours of project management time. So let's go in there and put that in. And I would not be afraid to show that calculation include that calculation as part of your estimate package. Don't shy away from it. You want to be very direct about this is what it's going to cost. So come back into general conditions. Let's go to our commercial. It's not commercial. It's residential supervision. I like to delete the project management out of the description. And what did we say? 45 hours. Oh. Okay, and then describe it. Supervision hours based upon total job length duration of 2.5 weeks, 2.5 weeks. And that's all you need to say. I mean, you could go into how many hours it takes. And let's say what is this number? 132. Whoop. As with most things I have, it's a work in process. It's never finished. 165 hours and 2.5 weeks and 165 total man hours. Okay. And I would just copy that. Copy. Close. Okay. and then LAB super R, and then you delete the residential supervision part and project management. And how much project management did we say? 5.5. Five and a half hours. And you put in a note. Checked. Okay. That's it. Okay, general cleanup. This is a 2.5 week project. And 1 hour a day would be 11.25. 11.25. Oh. There's my cleanup, there's my supervision, my project management. And then what is it? What did I have this in here for? Travel time. Oh, so, okay, let's talk travel time. Let's come back over here. If it's an hour each way, oh, it's an hour and a half each way to be fair. I would just start doing some math. So we got 1.5 hours each way. Times a crew of 2 equals crew size. Actually, it's over here. Equals that's. Yeah, actually, it's actually 3. So times how many days? So this would equal 9 times 3 folks times 1.5 hour a day. That's 40.5 hours of drive time.
Then how do we factor in the fuel surcharge for what's going on right now?
What is a fuel I don't use that a lot. What does that fuel surcharge look like? What is there? Is it just a
It's a
miscellaneous?
fee.
It's a $0 item. Temporary fuel surcharge item to be used if necessary as a surcharge to compensate for temporary fluctuating fuel costs, i.e. I would be more inclined to use a mileage number on this. And just pick a number. What's the federal rate for mileage reimbursements was 65 cents a mile.
62.5.
Yeah. So and if it's just do the math again and use your spreadsheet. So it's 0.625 and an hour and a half would be 120 miles times how many days? 9. Right?
And would you charge both directions or one direction?
Oh shit, you're right. God, you're a genius, Gump. 240. So our math equal this times this. 2,160 miles at 62.50. Okay. So I would do, what was it? 2,160 at 0.625. Total driving miles, assuming one vehicle per day. There. And that's real money. That's $1,700. That's going to be spent. Every penny of that is going to be spent on gas. So there you have it. Let's print this out. Yes, resequence. Rough draft. Go ahead.
14 grand.
With OMP. Yeah. Wait, 14. Well, did I read that wrong? There you have it. Let's all right, let's talk about it. We wanted to talk about we did underlay image. I think we hit that pretty hard. You guys should have a comfort level with that. Adjuster arguments. Supervision. Your argument is it's not included. You can show all the white papers from Xactimate that show supervision is not included. Markup, profit, and overhead are not included. You can show the white papers on that. And you can ask them if they think it's included. Ask them to show you. Show me where in these line items this supervision is included. Show me where this profit is, and put it back on them. How much profit do you think I should? How much profit do you think I'm entitled to? And ask them. Just put it back on them to prove that it is included. Prove where it is, and ask them to quantify it. If something is included, it should be quantifiable. It should be measurable. If you think profit is included, how much is that? Is it a percentage? How much is that as a percentage base? Because what we're showing them is these are my markup. I need to mark this up, this percentage. And this is why I need to have overhead. I need to cover overhead of 20%. I need to cover profit of 12%. Walk them through the math. How do you get how do you cover 32% in needed margin without marking up 47%? Explain to them the difference between a markup and a margin, because most of them don't know. And at the end of the day, stick to your number, stick to your guns. Because as soon as you cave once, it's game over. You might as well cave the rest of your life, right? Because you've lost all credibility. If you're willing to give it up on one job, you're willing to give it up on every job. And I just don't advocate for that. Brian, what do you have something to add on that subject?
Yeah. Again, I'm in Texas, so I'll talk about it. So other states may have similar. When we're dealing with insurance claims, we actually have findings by the Texas Department of Insurance that said the insurance company cannot dictate a contractor's overhead and profit. They cannot dictate the software.
Oh, I might have messed you up. I messed you up a little bit, changing you to a panelist.
That's fine.
There you
So
are.
just a second. Let's put the pipes back up and show my smiling face. So again, like I said, it's in the commissioner's bulletins, B0045 and 0068, and one's a 98, one's a 2008. Anyway, it specifically states overhead and profit cannot be dictated by the insurance company. The homeowner has the right to choose who they use. The insurance company cannot dictate how we as general contractors perform the work. They cannot dictate the materials we use. Now, we still constantly get pushback on it, but it's there in black and white. It's part of the insurance code. It's part of the regulatory body. And you just fall back on that. And then the additional thing, this has been talked about in roundtable and stuff before, and I've got it from other people. If we have our CPAs and our bookkeepers, I'm working on it. What is your real overhead cost?
Right.
Get a letter on your CPA's letterhead saying, hey, XYZ company has a real overhead of, with a projected overhead of for this year.
25%, 30%,
They
something.
need their profit. And then the other thing, I just want to add this, Andy. I'm going to name drop Sean Van Dyke is saying, no matter what on your materials, no matter what on everything, your markup should be a minimum of 50%.
Mhm.
And
That's what that's what regular contractors do.
and we're regular contractors. It's just we've been bullied and gaslighted into thinking we're not. No, we're specialists, or our trades
You
are
know what?
complex.
You know what the markup
Doesn't
on-
matter.
you go to REI and buy a pair of boots. You know what the markup is on that pair of boots?
A lot.
500%. At least.
More than I can afford.
Oh.
I wanted to hear what Jake said.
Yeah, I want to hear too. Jake must not be using his headphones today.
Can you throw it in chat, Jake?
So, anytime an adjuster says, well, that's included, ask them to quantify it. Okay, show me where it's included. And if they, 9 times out of 10, they say something to the effect of, oh, it's just in there. Well, that's bullshit then. If you can't quantify it, if you can't show me in the line item, talking about, Jake, you had a question, is cleaning, they're saying cleaning is included. Well, some line items in Xactimate, it actually is, or at least Xactimate considers it as included, but it's not all of them. And I think I
And that's
touched on
just
this.
spot cleaning. That's not full end of day site cleaning. That's not full end of project site cleaning. Those are
Well, I
two different
think
levels of cleaning.
in the descriptions, in the labor descriptions, I think we touched on this yesterday. It says, you could read the description. It said, this much time in breaks, this much travel time, this much pay, blah, blah, blah. And it says in most of the labor line items now, in the labor description and the underlying description, not in the line item itself, but in the labor description, it says not inclusive of any final cleaning. So that's new this year, I think, or late last year, where they made that subtle change in the descriptions, and it helped us out a lot because we knew that was true, but because they put cleaning in that description, the adjusters just like, well, that's it. There's no final cleaning on anything because it's included. Well, it's not. It really is not.
I get the most pushback with State Farm and Liberty Mutual on that one.
Well, and
what do you do when I'm sorry to cut off. I just
go
meant
ahead.
what do you because my F9 note is for supervision hours, I put this is to accomplish in a timely manner, prevent any hiccups along the way, and I do it by the projected total number of hours by the labor summary divided by an 8-hour day times 2 to make sure we could do it at the beginning of the day and after the day. And then I put in my second F9 note the Whitehead over O&P saying that this is a billable line item, yada yada yada, and they still go, well, no, yeah, it's a good argument, but no, we can't. It's part of our guidelines, and I just
Guidelines don't matter. Guidelines have no bearing.
They guess what? Here's the deal with their guidelines. They're the only ones that have to follow them, and their guidelines aren't published anywhere.
Did
If
you
you
see
get-
about the settlement that just happened in Alabama because of their guidelines?
Mm-mm.
So State Farm was accused of depreciating labor on numerous projects, and it was a time span of, I believe, 11 to 17, so 6 years, in all the claims in the state of Alabama. They fought, because this is 5 years after the filing, and they just settled, not to set precedent, but they're like, oh, we're going to back pay all that labor that we depreciated plus
Oh.
interest plus something else.
And
So
they did
that's
that to
an admission
eliminate-
right there that their guidelines are garbage.
Yep. Yeah. And they're not published. If you can get them to show you those guidelines, send me a copy of those guidelines, we can have a different conversation about it.
Then we'll talk to the insurance regulator and see if those guidelines hold any water, or we'll talk to the attorney general of the state you're working in, see if those guidelines comply with code or not.
Yeah, and Jake, I think you missed one key component of your calculation there. You
Mhm.
did total hours divided by 8, which gives you the total man days, but that's not crew days. You got to divide that by the number of crew you anticipate using.
And he didn't put
Oh.
slippage either.
And you didn't put slippage in either.
Which is why
I'll
we're
keep
here,
that in
so we
mind.
can
I'm-
find those out.
Yeah.
Get into this.
Where is this at? I'm gonna put in the chat. I'm gonna put this labor calculator in the chat. I know it's in the files somewhere, but there's a lot of files in there. So I'm gonna help you guys out. And for the longest time, we were all just kind of winging it. We were just using whatever sounded good. And it's just better to have a number to back it up. Now I can't find it. God damn it. There. Let's try this.
Andy, question.
This.
So if we're using these tools that you're providing us, like the calculators, for full transparency, because some people argue that, should we just make it into a PDF or put it into a document as a supporting appendix to this document,
I would.
to our sheet? Yeah.
Yeah, bury them with data. Thickest file wins. Yeah, and that's why I put, that's why I put this logo on it. Not that I'm a huge egomaniac and I want my logo on everything, but it allows you to use this as a pseudo third party. This is not my numbers. I just put in the labor hours and the calculator did the rest. Now, if they have a problem with how you did your calculation, that's fine. You can have that conversation. I'd love to have that conversation about how I arrived at my calculation. But just saying there's no supervision allowed per my guidelines is not a conversation. That's a non-starter for me. That's homie, don't play that.
Well, and on top of that, that's part of the onboarding process with the client. Hey, just to let you know, from my experience while staying in our lane, these are some problems we may encounter. Let me tell you what the rules are. Like in Texas, we have a homeowners insurance guide. Basically, it's a bill of rights, and it tells you, it outlines some of these things. Then you combine that with the bulletins. Mr. Smith, please see these documents. Why are they here? Because this is a common practice that has happened to other contractors, which means the insurance company is not trying to pay the bill in full. That may or may not happen to you, but I just want to let you know it could. And if they're armed with it, they can self-advocate, because when they get our bill, they know what's contained in the bill.
Yeah. Your bill, your invoice and your estimate should not be a surprise. There should be no shockers you should not get any oh shit moments from your clients when you send them a bill. They should know upfront and be able to arguably estimate what they're in for from the beginning. And that's why I said early yesterday, and I'll reiterate right now, if you don't have a schedule of fees in your contract package, you need to do that. You need to get a schedule of fees, and it's not a complete list of every possible thing you might do. It's a truncated list of the most common things you'll do. You need to know how much you're going to rent their air movers to them for per day. A DHU, you need a price for that. Demo labor, your labor for electrician, framing, drywall, demo, water guy. They need to know what your rates are. So you can tell them at the end of day one, oh, well, we spent eight hours, 8 hours there. We had 3 people there. That's 24 hours. As you can see on our schedule of fees, that's roughly what our bill is going to be, 24 times whatever that rate is. And when push comes to shove and you have to file lien or you have to file suit or someone sues you, going in front of a jury with well, did you tell them how much it was going to be? it plays a whole lot better if you say, yes, here's my rates, here's the contract, here's their signature. They had full disclosure. The problem in our industry is there's too many of us, and I'm going to say us reluctantly, too many of us are using these insurance proceeds contracts or per Xactimate or whatever, per the adjuster. You know, if you enter a contract with a $0, it's like, it's whatever. It is what it is. It's going to be what it is. The jury's going to slay you.
It's not a
And
valid contract.
it's not a valid contract, and it's not really fair. It's a game of gotcha, and that's what it looks like from the jury's point of view. Is it's just, oh, you were just trying to take advantage. You didn't want to tell them how much it was going to be. Either A, you didn't know how much it was going to be, which makes you look really dumb, or you did know how much it was going to be and you wanted to hide that until the end. Either way is no good. You want to be 100% upfront.
So, and
Yeah, go ahead.
Andy, on the 100% upfront, here's the backside too. How would you suggest we track this? So you've made this argument on Roundtable that we track it so we can start to come up, depending on the scale of a job, like mitigation. It's a Cat 1 loss. It's not very big. Here's your square foot. Cat 2, Cat 3, we've got mold and all sorts of stuff. We give a ballpark square foot so we can set kind of our big bucket of money number, our
Mhm,
reserve, and
mhm.
say, hey, there may be some change orders involved, but that way we can put a line on your work authorization or our contract saying, hey, we estimate, we're guessing this based on experience. There may be change orders involved, and then we can go from there, because that's a valid contract. We have a price, you get a down payment, you have the signatures, you have the disclosure. Correct or incorrect?
No, I like everything you just said, and it just depends on the sophistication level of the contractor, and a lot of guys don't have the back office in place to track that stuff in a meaningful way, and it could be just a simple spreadsheet that you input every single job. At the end of every single job, you put in, the numbers. This is how many square foot it was. This is what category water it was. This is how long it took. I'm a huge fan of someone needs to come up with a ballpark of category 1 water damage mitigation costs $22 a square foot on average. That'd be a great number to use if that was a real number. But the problem is we don't have enough data to know whether it's 22, 42, or 17 or 10. So that's where we're at as an industry. We don't know until the end, mostly, when it all adds up, what's it going to cost. And I think we should evolve beyond that. But we are where we are.
That's why I'm thankful for this class that you're giving, is because when you're challenging us to adjust our numbers, you're showing us where to input them. Okay, which is there's some level of tracking or accountability that's being assumed there, or at least we're going to start. I mean, I've been
Right.
listening to you for a while, as you know, and I started doing it, and I'm seeing the results. But that's why I was bringing these up, because of that argument you just made. I think everybody here in the room, I don't care if you're doing mitigation, roofing, whatever, you'll start to see patterns over time. You'll start to detect the surges, and you can start predicting what it is.
Mhm.
And once you know your ballpark range is, just do it with the Excel sheet. That's where I'm at. I'm a small operation.
Yeah.
But if we do that, when we walk into that loss, once we know, oh, it's a couple rooms, we can go, I think it's going to be this range. That also makes the conversation easier. Plus, you can also start in your head, you can start predicting, going, okay, I think I need these people, this equipment, because if you have to make some snap decisions, because you got the work authorization and you're getting in there, you can do it.
It didn't work. I tried to upload that spreadsheet to all y'all. I'm gonna have to go find it here. All right, it's open mic night time. We are at our end time, so now it's on you guys. Burning questions. I'm always going to be available via email. You guys have my email. I invite you to get into the Restoration Rebel Facebook page and just if you don't want to say anything, you don't have to say anything, but be there and read, see what comes up. A lot of us just bitching and moaning for sure, but there are nuggets of really solid gold nuggets of information in there. I think I'll find this thing now.
There's also a couple other groups within Facebook, since that's the tool that's the most common right now. I'll mention a personality, and I don't know if Andy can say it. Steve Patrick, great resource. That is,
Remind me who he is.
he's the roofer PA out of Dallas that leveled the playing field.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Do that. Look for some of the appraisal discussion groups or the public adjuster discussion groups. This amalgamation comes together. A lot of them are lurking or participating within Rebels too, which is wonderful because they'll
Sure.
chime in. But the real drill down conversations happen in their own little individual neighborhoods, so to speak.
Yeah, that worked. It looked like it's sent through. So there's a spreadsheet. And if
Andy,
you-
your group is called Rebel Restoration?
the Restoration Rebels.
Okay, got the records. And that's through Facebook?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there is an Xactimate crash course group that I created, and I'll make sure you guys get invites to that. But the reality is, it's a group that no one's in because we're all somewhere else. But I want to make sure that I'm available to you guys for forever. I'm hopefully don't regret saying that, but I want to make sure that you guys get the full value of what you paid for, and I really want to see you guys succeed. I want us as a restoration industry to raise the bar. And the only way I know, the rising tide will float all boats. So all I can do is try to raise that level of accountability, of transparency, of honesty, and just it's important to me that we continue to thrive and make money as an industry, because without us, what would people do?
If not us, then who?
They'd have to go to the lowest common denominator TPA contractors who don't have the public's best interest in mind. They don't work for the homeowner or the business owner. And it's just a continued dilution of what should be an honorable and needed trade. I mean, look at what's going on in Kentucky and St. Louis. Can a regular contractor step into that situation and be effective? No, they don't know which end is up when it comes to those sort of things. We do. But that experience and that expertise should come with at a premium. We're not janitors here. We're not carpet cleaners here. Although we might do some janitorial and carpet cleaning, that's not what we are. We are here to help the public recover from when bad shit happens. And that's a big reason why I'm still in this industry, because I love getting on my white horse and going to the rescue. I like being the hero. And but it's also important that I get paid equivalent to being the hero. I'm not doing hero work for small wages.
I appreciate you very much, and I'm thankful that I took this class. I got some really good tips through sketching, which was probably something I really wanted to work on. And then also some of the line items and how you kind of put everything together. You write it down before you start putting it into Xactimate, where I think I was jumping in and just doing it as I had it open. So, and then the macros, which really are going to help me a lot. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I often view myself as, I think about it like if my mom or my sister had a loss, I would want someone like me to help them. So that's how I view all my customers.
Let's back up if you guys don't mind. And if you got to go, you got to go. But I want to show you how to create a macro. It was on my list of things to do and I forgot it. Because there's a ton of macros in the information I sent, and none of them are going to be customized for your business. So what I invite you to do is find macros, play with them, open them all up, and you see what's there, and then customize them and make them your own. So I'm going to show you that real quick.
Hey, Andy, when you're jumping in there too, can you repost the Google Drive link, please? Or email it out at least?
I'll do that first. I'm just going to open this back up. I don't know. I'll do
Well,
it
Andy does the thing, guys. Yeah, I'm shilling a little bit. I've known Andy now since just after Hurricane Harvey down here in Houston.
God, it's been a long time.
And my exposure to the restoration world was non-existent until I came down to help family down here. And I met some of the peoples in the Rebel group while I was doing training out in Phoenix. It's where my family is, and I'm back and forth between these two places. And because when Andy says he wants to be there, and he's, yeah, what's 2022 now? That's 5 years, Andy.
Oh man.
And everything he's taught me has been valid. I mean, it works. And I'm very thankful. And every time he provides something, I try to participate, because it's had a return on investment immediately. If it's not a direct dollar, it's the argument or thinking about how you're going about it, because Andy does a great job of staying abreast of the changes that are going on and pivoting accordingly, and then disseminating that information. So what that adds up to at the end of the day, it makes our lives easier if we apply it.
Appreciate that, Brian. Thanks a lot, man.
Of course.
Okay, so I mentioned Actionable Insights. They're a great resource, and I think it's $45 a month or something. And as with anything you pay for on a subscription basis, if you don't use it, the value is zero. But if you do use it, I think the value is enormous. So I just clicked on one of their baseboard MDF insight sheet macro that I purchased, and it brought it up in here. So it shows all the possible baseboard stuff that they see. It's got F9 notes already attached, things like that. But so go through all those macros, install the ones that you think are relevant, and then open them up and make your changes. I mean, okay, so I just ran the asbestos abatement one. That's it, adds all this stuff. All right, I'm gonna start over. I'm gonna keep it clean here. Okay, we're gonna run the asbestos abatement macro. So it adds all these items. But what if one of these items is not quite right, but you don't want to delete it, but you want to change it? So we're gonna pick one. So you want to change the description of something like this, and you just change the description, blah, blah, blah. Maybe you want to change let me find something that, one example that just keeps coming up is changing the demo trade on roofing to RFG. So let's just RFG 300. And you can see it automatically comes up. We got to do detach and reset, or remove and replace. Already automatically comes up with DMO, right? It's going to come up every single time. But if you change this to RFG, and then you select all these line items again, and then this button comes up, save macro. And you save that macro. Every time you run that macro, that line item for roofing is going to come back. This demo line item is going to come back with RFG already on it, because it's your customized macro. That's my best example of a customized macro that I can come up with right now. But creating a macro is as simple as selecting everything in there and then hitting save macro. That's it. make a code and description you'll remember, and make sure the description is very descriptive, because you're probably going to have more than one macro that you're going to use. So you want to be able to read through. And make sure that you click Save Line Item Customizations. Otherwise, it's going to default back to whatever the standard is. And you also want to include attached notes. Huge. But that's it. That's how you create your own macro. So get in here, use the macros, install them, play with them. But right now there's a culling that needs to happen on my macro list. I need to delete probably 80% of these because they're taking up too much space and they're distracting. And some of them just don't apply anymore because they're just too old. So I need to delete a ton of these. But just curious stuff like RAM board. What's that even mean? Oh, okay. I mean, this is a simple macro, but if you need to use RAM board, it's got notes built in. I don't know what that's for, but anyway, macros, I have a love-hate relationship with macros because I think some people use macros as a crutch and it gets them in trouble because they just assume that the macro applies across the board and they don't bother to go in and customize it at all.
Or update pricing.
Or change price or things like, yeah. So you got to use it intelligently, but here's a, kitchen smoke clean macro. Let's see what's in here. Oh my God, there's a ton of stuff in there. And this is a good, macros are a good reminder, like, oh, shoot, I forgot that. Yep, good one. Oh, I'll take that. But some of these are like, oh, no, doesn't apply, delete. Doesn't apply, delete. Doesn't apply. And that's fine. But at least you have a starting point of a list of things that you might possibly use. So, and if that macro isn't in that list of macros, if you're looking for a macro that's not in the list of macros in the files, just let me know and we'll work it up. But I'm a bigger fan of, like, I will do per job macros. If I'm doing like apartment buildings or hotels are a perfect example of, there's only going to be 2 or 3 different scopes in that entire building, but there's going to be 150 rooms. So you make a macro out of each one of those scopes. You have a bathroom macro, you have a kitchen macro, you have a living room macro, and then you just run that macro. Or what I do more often than that is I just end up copying these things. I'll just copy, I'll select all, and I'll copy, and then I'll go paste them across the board. But that's, macros can be good and bad. Just use them carefully. Just be careful. You do that. Here's that guy. So that's it. We're good. I'm going to send out an email, a link for some reviews. I want your guys' honest opinion on how the class was. And I'm also going to give you an opportunity to give me some unfiltered feedback that's not for public dissemination or anything else. I just want to know how I can improve, what I can add, what I need to detract. If I need to, this class was originally 4 days. The first time I did it, it was 4 days. It was 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, and it just got too long. So this is the shortest it's been. But I'm afraid to, let me ask you right now, for those of you still here, would this be better done in 1 day? Or is it better split up in the way we did it?
I think it's better split up.
It gives you time to sleep on it and come back fresh?
Exactly. And have questions that you want to ask the next day.
Okay, good. I'm glad, because that was my thought process on it as well.
I think it even could be longer. Maybe 3 days.
Okay. Do 3 half days?
Yeah. That way, the second day from actually doing the entering in the estimate, that way people can go back and say, hey, you went too fast there or help me here.
Okay,
Maybe the third day is help me personally with what's going on.
perfect. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that's one thing we didn't get to, shoot, we didn't get to, is it Brianna had a fire? We didn't get to look at that today.
Yes, maybe the third day is each person has something personal that you need help them with.
That's a great idea. That's a great
Well,
idea.
and I think at the start of the third day, Andy, would be, again, some of the common defenses, maybe the things that should be included in all of your general items, best practices for your business, for risk mitigation that should be included on every job.
That sounds like a week's worth of work.
No, no, you've taught me in the past. That's the reason I'm sharing it. It's because they're going to go, why did you do your testing? Why do you have your mechanical controls? Why? Because we have to. We
Mhm.
have to protect our employees. And if we're protecting our employees, we're protecting our client.
Yeah.
And that's also an area revenue. No, that's not a cost of doing business.
Right.
That is a job cost.
Right. There are very few things that we do that are considered a cost of doing business. It's either an overhead cost or a direct job cost. I'm starting to charge for, I'm a public adjuster, so I'm starting to charge for my fee inside of these estimates. And it's not getting paid a lot, but it's starting conversations that need to be had. And that's a large degree why we do what we do. We want to force a conversation. If I can have a conversation, we can find a middle ground. But if we're not able to talk about it, if it's this way, my way or the highway, we're not paying for it. Well, that's not conversation. And it's not fair. It's not fair to anyone.
Well, and then also, Andy, depending on, I don't know what state everybody's in because I missed some of it, sorry. Some of the states, the fee is becoming a chargeable job cost.
Mhm.
Or again, back to the tracking argument, if you're finding so many percentage of your jobs are going to public adjuster, you start building that cost into your job, because when you engage a public adjuster, the timeline just extended, the costs have gone up. And then also the homeowner and you as the contractor are going to be shorted whatever that percentage is on producing the job. So that's where the tracking comes back in the custom price list. You could start baking it in. If you don't have a PA involved, it becomes retained revenue for that rainy day when something happens.
Yeah. Well, it's just, if it works on once things go to a lawsuit, right? If you hire an attorney and you sue the insurance company and you win one more dollar than what they offered or their final offer, you win one more dollar. Most states, your attorney's fees are paid for by the loser, right? The loser pays the attorney's fees, and that's a carrier. I think the same thing should be done with PAs.
Yeah, and that's something that's being discussed in different jurisdictions right now. And also, hey, we should start advocating at our state level with our representatives for the same.
Yeah, but who's got time for that, Brian? Who's got time? I
You do
got
that-
water
you
to
do-
go suck out of somebody's basement.
You do that through your network of your PAs and attorneys, and because sometimes that representative's your neighbor.
Mm-hmm. That's true. All right, everyone, you know how to get a hold of me. It's been great having you. Thanks for your patience and digging in. So I'm going to make the admin decision that you all get to leave early today.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Teach.
Tell them I said so. All right, be good. I hope to see you in the groups. We'll see you.
Thank you.